everybody. Skywalking with Wetz podcast. I got special guest here, Brandon Cotton, former teammate of mine, but most important, one of my best friends, one of my boys. Met him playing college basketball in Great Falls. He has a terrific journey, stories of resilience, hard work, and just the grind, man. So I'm bringing him on to reminisce on some of the old times, but also just kind of tap into his journey, maybe shed some knowledge to some of those watching. If you're a hooper or not, I think a lot of this stuff could be relatable to your life and the things that you're going through or things you want to achieve. We're going to be in here, get after it, pick his brain, see how he's doing, currently down in Argentina. And we'll just kind of go with the flow, baby. So, Brandon, thank you for coming on, dog. I appreciate it. Long time coming. I've been bugging you about this for a long time.
I know, man. I want to say thank you for having me on the podcast for foremost. It's great to see you, man. I see you being a father. You're, a married man. So the last time I seen you, everything has changed, man. I'm really proud of you, what you're doing. This was a long time coming, but I think it's perfect timing as well to get on here and do this podcast with you, bro.
Yep. Hey, man, I appreciate that. For those watching now or later when this gets posted, B and I were just kind of catching up a little bit, and it's been almost 5.5 years since I've last seen this guy. We were at the very end of our senior year at the University of Providence playing basketball. We just got bid into the national championship on like a Wednesday, and the following day we got a text saying season was essentially on pause, but we knew it was canceled because of COVID.
Yep.
And I haven't seen him since. Probably that Thursday. I popped by there, said goodbyes, but 5 years, it's a half a decade. It's a long time. And again, for you to come on here, we're proud of you too, man. And it's almost like a homecoming in a sense, because one thing I don't think a lot of people understand is the brotherhood that comes from, playing athletics or being a part of something like that, with people that you're in the gym every day, weights every day, traveling every day. As we were talking about, kind of getting it out of the mud,
Yep.
just grinding for a bigger purpose. And so it's crazy. It's dope. Been following him ever since, obviously. But he's been around the world. He's done a lot of stuff in that time too. So it's kind of crazy, honestly. So, like, looking at you, bro, it's kind of crazy because I'm like, fuck, dude.
I know, man. One thing I can say is, man, that you probably would have never caught me on a podcast 5, maybe 3 years ago, ever. But now I'm comfortable with myself. I think at that time I was isolating myself from people, so because I was so focused on what I wanted to do. So just being here, seeing you, man, it's a lot of people do hit me up like, "Hey, D, I haven't seen you in a long time. How's everything?" And I kind of try to not to get to that attachment because I leave the country. I know what comes with it, so you kind of just have to stay leveled, even keeled. So it's just great to see you as well, bro. I can't. It's just like, bro, you're a dad, so it's just crazy.
Dude, it's crazy, man. It really is. Like, it feels for like it was forever ago, but it also feels like it was yesterday at the same time, if that makes sense. Like
Facts.
like we've both gone through a lot of stuff, like not like bad stuff, some bad, some good. We always have good and bad in our life. But just a lot added to the miles of the journey ever since. So, it's wild because I think, when did you graduate high school?
I graduated 2016.
2016. So I was 2015, and we just had our 10-year reunion. I mean, I didn't go, obviously. Shout out Great Falls High Bison, but just like things like that. Now I'm like, I turned 29 and what is it? 17 days. Like, what is going on, dude? Like,
Almost 30. Are
yeah.
you are you Unc? Are they calling you Unc yet at school or what?
Nah, they ain't calling me Unc yet. But I think we're approaching that. Actually, I do have dudes I've grown up with. Jaden Stanley, he was probably my last guest about a month ago. He was on here and he calls me Unc because I remember Jaden. You know, he was just a little dude. He's like 3-4 years younger than me, but still just just a little guy to us. And it's crazy because yeah, we're there. We're like what Shaiki was to us when we were when we were coming up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But yeah, it just time flies, man. And I think that's probably the coolest thing of having you come on here is just kind of catching up and seeing what you're doing. Because as you said, I've asked you multiple times to come on here. I think for the last 3-4 years, you're like, nah, dude. Like I head down. I'm working right now. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I'm focused on. And I fucking dope. I love it. Sorry for cussing, chat. It's dope. I like that mentality, and I want to pick your brain on that. But before we get there, let's kind of introduce you and what got you to where you are today, and what that part of the journey looked like. So, correct me if I'm wrong. You were born and raised in Tacoma, right?
I was born and raised in Tacoma, Washington.
Tacoma, Washington. Yep. Yep. And if a lot of people don't know about Tacoma or Seattle area in general, produces some of the greatest hoopers on this planet. I swear to God.
Yep, the Pacific Northwest is underrated.
It's very underrated. So yeah, just kind of walk us through that. What was it like growing up, with your parents, or what was inspiring you as a young kid? You're a big Kobe guy. I know that for sure. And so what kind of led you to the game of basketball, I guess, coming up?
So I would say what led me as a young kid, just growing up, my dad used to have, all the games on, like the Laker games. But one thing that's special that's like a hidden gem is my dad had these old basketball cards, bro, from like the 80s, the 90s, the 70s, like Earl Monroe, Tiny Nate Archibald. And I used to
Mm-hmm.
just go through those cards. And I'm like, who is this? And then at that time, YouTube was just getting big. Google was just like, we are starting to use those. So I used to look them up. And that's the type of stuff that made me fall in love with the game because I used to look at their cards, see what they were averaging in these years. So that's what brought the excitement for me in basketball. That's something I really admired. But growing up in Tacoma, it was like basketball is really big in Tacoma and in Seattle. So I started playing in a team at like fifth, fourth grade, and that's when I got exposed to like, oh, I'm not so good. You know what I mean? I'm just one of the guys right now. But growing up in that environment, Tacoma is like unheard of. At that time, we probably had Avery Bradley just making a name. Isaiah Thomas was making a name. So we got to see those guys, especially for me, Isaiah Thomas. I was watching him, same type of player, same height. So that's one of the Pacific players that I really looked up to growing up in Tacoma. So just growing up playing basketball with a lot of good guys, like some of the guys I played with growing up are in the league or still playing professional basketball. So it just shows you the quality of basketball we have. And I think now the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, and Tacoma is getting recognized for how good basketball is because we got a lot of players in the league. We got players everywhere, all over playing. So it was just special. But growing up at the house, man, it was nothing but basketball on. So that's all I really knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. That's funny you mentioned like your dad had, these cards and things like that. My dad was the same way. Growing up, we baseball too. We were a big baseball family
Yep.
as well. And, I remember like basketball cards, and then back in the day, like when my dad was coming up, you could put like a recording tape into the TV and record like a game. And he would show me like recordings from when like he was growing up and stuff. And
Exactly.
it's like even for us growing up, like basketball, watching it wasn't as accessible as it is today. You can watch any game at any time on various different
Yep.
platforms. Like growing up for us, when I'm talking like we're from the 80s or 90s, well, we're born in the 90s, but like we didn't grow up in that era necessarily. But like,
People won't understand that term until like you got to be our age. Like it really wasn't that easy. You
yeah,
had to be ready at that time to watch the game.
Yeah. And ESPN didn't do it justice. Like, it was cool watching highlights and stuff, but um, being a student, that was part of the process, I think, that led me to love the game and be a student of the game, is kind of what you're talking about to that point.
Yep.
And you have siblings,
Yeah,
right?
I have an older sister. I have an older
You have
sister.
our older sister. Yep. And
She
she,
she she wasn't big on sports. She was like just in the house. She loved watching movies, chilling. But I learned a lot from my sister too growing up. I learned what to do and what not to do.
hmm
So just having an older sister, you learn. I would say your oldest always takes the punches, and so the youngest grows up and learns what not to do.
hmm
So just seeing her, and she's doing great now. She's about to be 30. She's working. She's got her own house. She's probably got like 5 cats now. She's taking good care of herself. But just growing up watching her was motivation as well because she told me what I wanted to be, and she always pushed me. So like a great story I always tell like my sister. I'll tell her to this day. Like my her senior year, my sophomore year in high school, she was like, I want to be a team manager just so I can watch you play my last year. So like that's a experience you can never take away. And she got to sit there and watch me play, took the score sheets, was telling me what I had at halftime, how many points, assists, all that. Like she was just keeping track for me on her last year because she knew how big it was for me.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, having a sibling's probably one of the greatest things you could have. I'm the oldest, and I didn't live in the household with my siblings, but having siblings is great for those reasons, especially, because
Like,
I take pride in, help guiding some of my siblings on things that I've had to learn from experience, good and bad. You know what I mean? And I feel like if I don't, at least share some of that stuff with them, I'm not doing them right. You know what I mean?
exactly. You
And
gotta share experiences.
yeah, dude. And so you grew up with your sister, growing up, kind of learning things from your dad. Your dad played college. Did he play pro too?
Nah, so my dad played high school and he couldn't really focus going into college. So my dad grew up in South Central LA.
Uh
But
huh.
my dad was a big name player at that time in the 80s. So I used to grow up because my dad was really big on like keeping stuff. So I remember going through a box and I just seen all this newspapers of him, trophies. I used to always ask him, why you got like 50 trophies, bro? Like, who were you? And my dad was actually a bucket, like how I am now. But growing up in that era, it was different. He was the oldest, so he kind of didn't want to. He wanted to play basketball, but there was so many distractions going on from where he was from that, he was like, I'm gonna just do whatever he was doing at that time. But
Yep.
he's the main reason why probably where I'm at today because he was telling me what I was capable of and what I
hmm
needed to do. So being the first person to go to college, being the first person to be professional, to have a degree, you know what I mean? All that stuff mattered at the end.
hmm
But one thing my dad always tells me, he regrets not pursuing playing college. He just he couldn't focus in school, which a lot of people can't focus in school.
Yep.
It's just getting over that hurdle. And I got
hmm
over that hurdle. So whenever I have a kid, he's gonna excel in anything he wants.
hmm Yeah. Yeah, dude. So I remember you were telling me about your dad growing up in LA, and he was a problem. Basketball, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, he was a problem. And I think that stuff's like it's great to have, a father figure like that, I bet, to
oh,
help guide you in that direction, and knows the things that you need to do in order to excel, at the game. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's
And
free
I'm
training.
I'm more than grateful for having, my dad my whole life, So
Yeah.
him teaching me, being the like I can't really remember my dad missing a game, me growing up as a kid. In college, maybe because we're traveling and he still hasn't seen me play as a professional, but nobody's used to, I gotta buy a passport to go watch my kid play,
Mhm.
even though I know it's his dream, you know what I mean? So it's just an adjustment, but he molded me the right way to be where I am today, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Mhm. Absolutely. Were there ever times where how would he push you, I guess? You know, because sometimes it's like, as a kid, like we love basketball, but sometimes some other stuff catches our attention. You know, if it's video
Yeah.
games or the roller rink, or as things kind of happen, it turns into other stuff. But like, how did he kind of hold you accountable?
I would say one of my dad has a great attribute. He never forced anything on me.
Mm,
So if I wanted to play a video game, he would just go, all right, you want to play video games? Okay, that's what you want to do.
mm-hmm.
Somebody else is getting better. So
Oh,
once I learned that concept of what he was doing, I was like, all right, bro, I gotta get better every day. Like I know what he's doing. He's like, you want to do that? Okay, go ahead. I'm not forcing you. I got the game system for you to play.
yeah.
But if this what you really want, I'm gonna push you to do that. But growing up, my dad was my coach a lot through travel ball. So you can imagine our relationship on the court and off the court. I've been kicked out in the middle of the games with my dad, thinking that we're gonna lose, and then I'm in the car crying, and then they win, and then he's like, "Look, I told you." So he held me accountable. I wasn't a great leader, bro. Growing up, I didn't know what being a leader was. I didn't know what emotional intelligence was. So he should always tell me, "You're emotional. You're emotional." So he always just kept, nitpicking at me. Him being my dad as a coach. Players are like, "Oh, you're playing because your dad's the coach," and I'm like, "Bro, he's not. He's coaching me 10 times harder than you guys," and I never understood that.
Mm-hmm.
So that relationship we had, it never went off the court. It was always on the court. We get home, okay, we might have a problem, whatever, but then it's over with. But he just was just I learned from my dad. He was a workaholic. Like he gets up at 4 in the morning, like every day. Even on his off days, up at 4 in the morning, goes to work, comes home, handles his business, takes me to practice, does what he have to do. So I always just learn, okay, I need a routine like that. So just growing up seeing that, it wasn't like my dad was really forcing me. It was just like I just observed it and he was just like there. Like I'm just watching him. Like I gotta get up early in the morning to go work out. He's going to work. Like I'm doing something I love. And that sticks with me to this day. So anytime I
Mm-hmm.
go to the gym at 5 a.m., I'm like, bro, I get paid to go to the gym at 5 a.m., bro. People are going to work at 5 a.m. and I'm doing what I love. So he just held me accountable like that. And to this day, he's a workaholic. Like I'm low key scared when he retires. Like, what is he gonna do? You know? I can't wait for the day he retires though. One day I can retire him, hopefully.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And that's awesome, man. I think that's important. Um, because for one, on the side of he didn't force anything on you. I've seen a lot of people, and my grandpa was the same way with me. He didn't necessarily force things with me, but he's like, if you want to be good at something, you got to put the work in. And, you know, essentially what you're saying. But like the forcing piece, I've seen a lot of cats, growing up whose parents forced them to be in athletics,
Mhm.
forced them to take extra training sessions with the strength and conditioning coach. They didn't want to do it. They didn't love it. And then when it came time to, play in college and stuff, they eventually just stopped because they're like, I'm over it. They're burnt out. You know what I mean? It's like
Exactly.
you got to feed like as kids, like you got to feed the passion. Um, but is it your kid's passion or is it your passion? Is your kid's dream or is it your dream? And I think a lot of parents kind of get that twisted up. And there's a right way, in my opinion, to go about that. Like if you see your kid's good at something, all right, how there's a certain approach I feel like you have to take in order to kind of steer them that direction. But some people get too controlling over it. You know what I
Yeah, for
mean?
sure. My dad was never one of those. I'm gonna live through my kid. Like never. He
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, this is what you want to do. Okay, you need to watch this. You need to act like this. You need to do this. Now I'm first generation, so I'm still learning how to be a professional because my dad didn't play professional. I had to learn how to be a student athlete. So
Mm-hmm.
my dad guided me to a point where, okay, I had to learn for myself as well. But him getting me to this point is just, it's just picture perfect. I feel like sometimes,
Yeah.
because I don't know, man. It just dreaming about it as a kid to be a professional and to be one is you're just living in a dream. Like I still feel like I'm in a dream every day, man.
Dude, it is a dream. I remember you spoke it into existence. You know what I mean? From the day I met you when you stepped foot on UP, like overseas, being a professional is definitely your dream. You know what I mean? But bring it back to your dad real quick because we'll get into that stuff here in a second. The other thing I wanted to get to as well was he set a good example for you. You know what I mean? Getting up every day, working hard.
Yep.
And now that like we're adults, you probably appreciate that. Like you have a bigger appreciation for that stuff now than you probably did as a kid. But also, like, I think it's really important that parents do set, an example and walk the walk, and not just talk the talk. Because
Exactly.
we're growing up now. I work in a school, and you'd be surprised. I mean, I don't know. You might not be surprised by it, but like, there's so many parents out there that don't set a good example for their kid, or they send the wrong messages to their kid. And I see a lot of kids in the school I work at or the district I work in,
Uh-huh.
and even some of the kids I coach, where parents literally will try and get their kids out of like accountability, if it's in school or on the court. Everything has
Yeah.
to be hand served. You know what I mean?
So I've been coaching too. So I learned about the parent side, the kid side, and knowing what my dad taught me and then see how the parents act towards their kids, it's in this time and era, it's very difficult because of social media. So, a parent sees something, they're like, why isn't my kid not doing that? Or my kid needs to be training with this, so and so. So it's like you got to understand that your kid has to want it first.
Yep.
You can provide everything you need for the kid, but your kid has to want it. So I didn't grow up having a trainer, you know what I mean? And I'm a
Yep.
trainer now, so I tell kids like, bro, you got trainers all over. Like you don't have to just train with me. You can train with whoever. But me growing up, it was at the park, bro, with me and my dad playing one on one, just getting shots up. Everything was just watching YouTube, watching them move, and going outside and doing it. Like that's how I grew up playing basketball, was just doing it. But now it's just like so much access for kids. You know what I
Oh
mean? And
yeah.
then you see so much, and we got a lot of young parents out here too.
Yeah.
A
Yeah. Yeah.
lot of young parents. So everybody's learning. So that's what I learned as being a coach. And I think Keller told me this one time too. He was like, "Bro, you probably be a good girls coach." And I'm a better girls coach than the male coach.
Really?
I'm a way better girls coach than a males coach. Like I just it's easier, and they're more understanding. They listen better. The
Mm-hmm.
expectation from the parents is not so high. But being in Cali, there's still a little a
Oh
high
yeah.
level
Oh
expectation,
yeah.
but it's not as high as the males. You know what I mean? It's like, bro,
Yeah.
my kid ain't be better now. Like, why is he not playing? Why is he not? What? It's accountability, like you said. So I just think it's just hard this era for kids. You know what I mean? Because it's the comparison factor. You're on your phone all day,
Yep.
and you just got access to everything, bro.
Mm-hmm. Too much access, in my opinion. Even like you mentioned, like the access to trainers, and I reckon that people need to be very careful with like the trainers they pick, because some of these guys are full of shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They don't know what they're doing. Like, I was blessed to have good trainers. Like the only trainers I ever had was in high school, and it was just strength and conditioning trainer, a person that helped me lift and get into better shape and grow, not basketball. Like we do some basketball workouts, but like you said, that was all on my own. Growing up, I had my grandpa, and so we had access to gyms because he was a coach. So he would, we would go to the middle school, and my grandpa was a single working dude in the house. My grandma couldn't work, unfortunately, and so he was supporting 3, 4, sometimes 5 of us in the house, and he'd have to go do the laundry at the middle school because we didn't
Yep.
have to pay the bread for it. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
he'd be doing 6, 7 loads of laundry in like two loads because the thing's so big over there. But I'd be in the gym 3 hours. You know what I mean? Or if I wasn't there, I was down at the park when he was out of town. Shooting in the snow, getting it in like that way, like using my own imagination
There you
to
go. Imagination. That's the word, bro.
right.
Imagination. You have to have your own imagination to get where you want. I feel like kids don't have that no more.
Mm-hmm.
Imagination is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like being creative. Like I remember just sitting there, I'm about to just try this move. I never seen nobody do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did it. And it
Mm-hmm.
works. And then now you see now in this era, a lot of kids, I would say the imagination level is still high, but they don't imagine like we used to. I feel like it's just different. It's like I'm just learning off of my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like how to tap into it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think we see it in basketball today, maybe a little more like on the American side, and this is just my hot take of it, is everyone's just trying to do the same shit. You know,
Yep.
3-and-D, high three volume, you know, finish around the rim. Like the middy's gone. I remember watching you kill in the mid range, and I would watch. I'd go watch like a Steve Nash highlight, right? I would go outside for 2 hours, you know, whatever it is, out in front of my house or at the park. And I would try and replicate some of those things, but with like my own little twist on it. I'd be in a game trying to
Yep.
simulate a game, or I'd be like, oh, this is how Ray Allen shoots, but this is how Steve Nash shoots. This is what he does here. And just like doing stuff like that. Whereas, you know, as a coach now, I coach boys, and all I just see them do is like, okay, I'm going like before practice, they're warming up. Like
Mhm.
before like anything ever starts, they're just chucking threes up, or you know, just doing stuff where
Yep.
like back in the day I was, you know, trying different things, trying to get different feels. I'd see how Steve Nash would shoot his one-legged floater. I'd see how Ray Allen would come off the screen and shoot his pull-up. I would see how, you know, Hakeem would use the footwork, and just different things like that. And it was just the
Yep.
curiosity of it too. You know what I mean? Um,
I think the passion for the game is kind of gone too. So like a lot of kids don't know who Akeem Olajuwon is, feet work, Steve Nash, one-legged shots. Like a lot of kids don't know that, but they have access to it now. You just type it in on YouTube,
mm-hmm,
and we had to actually watch the game. It wasn't too many highlights on YouTube yet, so
mm-hmm,
you had to watch the game to be like, I'm gonna practice it. So that's why I feel like a lot of kids now are not training by themselves. Like you don't need a trainer, honestly. I know it's hard to go rebound for yourself, but like, bro, you don't. Like the same thing he's teaching you, you could do it by yourself. One dribble
mm-hmm,
pull up. I'm gonna make 10 in this spot.
mm-hmm.
Like Larry Bird, I'm gonna have that ball come back, switch it right back to me
Yep,
every time.
exactly.
Kids, kids don't think like that. So it's
No.
like you gotta have that imagination. You gotta learn how to do it by yourself. And when you get to my level, I feel like okay, it's necessary to have a trainer because you're trying to get pushed, trying to learn new things. Because eventually you want to be a trainer. You
Mm-hmm,
know, that's how I look at it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, dude. Um, it's just different, and I think a lot of entitlement comes from it too. You know what I mean?
So, you
And
know,
but like I coach a lot of good kids too in terms of like their work ethic and stuff. But there are, you know, there's all. It's just like it's just a lot. It's way different now, and that's where I start to feel like an unk or an old head. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, damn, bro, like it was just so much different 15, 20 years ago. You know, when I was loving the game of basketball, compared to now, where you know I ask my players like, hey, where do you work out, or what'd you do this weekend for ball? Oh, I went to 24 hour and played threes, or go to runs. And then like you go to this gym and you go see like the kind of runs it is. It's like, oh man, you know, or yeah, or like oh, I got 100 shots up. Okay, but what kind? You know what I mean? Like, are you
Yep.
just shooting 100 shots like this, or are you getting into a sweat? You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, what are you challenging yourself on in that moment?
And the elite kids had a routine growing up. I didn't really have a routine. I was just like my imagination. I'm gonna go out here, practice this move till it's perfect, shoot the same shot. So if I would have learned how to have a routine as a kid, I'll probably be a way better basketball player.
Oh
So
yeah.
kids need to learn how to get a routine because the guys that are playing at a high level, they had a routine very young and they're successful now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we'll get to that routine piece too, here in a second. So, um, you're coming up in Tacoma. You know, your dad's coaching you a lot. Um, you're able to kind of observe him. He's pushing you, and then you kind of start getting into high school and stuff. So if I remember right, you would gas up, what it was like to go play in the Tacoma Dome and coming
Yeah.
out of that area to try to win a state championship. Talk about that a little bit.
So my first 3 years, I went to Franklin Pierce. It was in some Parkland, Washington. It's not too far from Tacoma. So it's
Hmm.
another small city. The school I went to, Franklin Pierce, molded me to get to Lincoln. So
Hmm.
I wasn't ready to play at Lincoln yet. So Franklin Pierce was a stepping stone for me. I was like, look, Dad, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna learn how to be a good basketball player, kind of be a leader, be a scorer, and know what it takes to try to win. So it was like we were so bad, bro. It was like, I don't think we won over 10 games every year I was there. But I had a name for myself. I was first team. I was getting buckets, but we weren't winning. So I felt like once my junior year ended, I was like, bro, I'm ready. Like it's time for me to make that step to go try to go play for Lincoln, which in that time Lincoln was the best school. And when I played, we were because we went undefeated in the league. I think we lost like 4 games. Two of them came in state. So we had a very great team. And majority of the team I grew up with playing AAU with. So it was easy, but it was competitive as fuck. Like,
Hmm.
excuse my language, but like
No, you're good.
it was a dog eat dog environment, bro. So when I went to Lincoln, it was like a whole different world, bro. Like I was coming from Franklin Pierce, everybody's nice. Lincoln was like, nah, bro, like you coming over here, like, bro, you trying to take my spot. It's a little bit more grimy there. So me going there, I felt like I told my dad, I was like, look, nobody's gonna guarantee me nothing. Because the coach didn't really know me. I had a little name. Coach Annie, Coach Sheldon, they knew me, but they were like, we're not gonna just give him a spot. Nobody just gets a spot at Lincoln.
Mhm.
So when I went to tryouts, in fact, I played summer league. I played good in summer league. I played good in fall league, and it came to tryouts, and the coach was like, "Yeah, we're starting all over, fresh start." And I remember playing so hard in tryouts because I was like, "Bro, I do not want to get cut, bro." As a senior coming to the school, we go. I see my name on the list. Okay, I'm on the team now. Practice is going. I'm not a starter. I'm not playing. Once the season started, I didn't play that much the first 2 games, so that it hurt being a senior not playing that much. So I remember going home and I was just sitting there like crying, like, how am I gonna do it? And it just came to my senses that night, like, bro, I'm about to play hard every possession on defense. So my specialty, my senior was playing defense. So I'm playing defense, full court, playing hard, being a leader, being vocal. Um, and it got me to the point where I started a few games. It was kind of interchangeable every year because we had guys who went D1 on our team, football, basketball. We had younger guys who eventually went D1. So like we had a mixture of like I don't know how our coach controlled us. Like I don't know how you managed that team because everybody had an ego, everybody wanted to be good. So there came a point in time and it was around playoffs and we were going through kind of a slump, but like we're winning. But that's when I elevated my game. I started scoring. I started acting like I was at Franklin. I was scoring a lot, playing defense. Felt like I was contributing to the team. So once we got to the state tournament, I'm already averaging 20 to 18 points coming into the tournament. I felt good. And I'll never forget this. The first game we played Rainier Beach. We're up 20. I come off the bench. I still have 24. I think I played like 28 minutes
Hmm.
and we lost. But I was like, bro, like, okay, I was proud of myself because I was like, bro, I played hard and I never got to play in the dome. And my dream was to always play in the dome growing up in high school. So once I got there, I was like, I'm taking full advantage, bro.
Hmm.
Taking full advantage. Like I just remember getting there, like, bro, I'm here. And I played so well, I'll never forget it. Central Washington coach came up to me like, hey, like, who are you? Like, where did you play at AU? And I remember talking to me and I was like, damn, like I was dreaming this, my imagination, like 3 years ago.
Hmm.
And, and I'm telling them, my situation. And as a young kid, you're just so hyper. I don't even know what I said. I gave him my contact, whoop de whoop. And next thing you know, we were in contact ever since that day. But then that next game, it was like a placement game. We weren't going to win nothing. And I went off again. I'm like, bro, okay, this was my dream again. We played so well that year that anytime I felt like I played good, it was like, I'm gonna acknowledge it because our team was really good. Anybody can have 20.
Yeah.
But to do it at the dome at like where it really mattered and to show up and play, it was like, bro, it was like one of those dreams. I always wanted to play in the dome. But that team is what I would say that team is what pushed me to understand what a team is
Mm-hmm.
and how to play a role and figure out my role and figure out ways to, play more. Cause like, bro, we would have practices of just straight fighting. Like it was like a dog environment. Like I haven't been in that environment in a long time, but that environment made me into somebody that I didn't know I could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm forever grateful for that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that kind of environment's crazy. You know what I mean? Because there's people out there, that environment molded you to be who you are and made you a better basketball player, right? But you
Yeah.
you don't see that, like, at least at Great Falls High, like we never had anything like that. Because the
Yeah.
coach would shut it down. He didn't allow it. And I respect it. It's his team. He could do whatever he wants. Shout out Coach Howard. But college was a place where I started to realize, okay, this is a little different. You know what I mean? And things are a little different outside of these walls in Montana up here, because I remember I went to my first like open gym and just the stuff that was said on the court, dog, even to me as like this high school recruit, I was like, yo, I don't know if I belong in this. You're just not used to it. But people really
Exactly.
they're really about it like that. You know what I
No,
mean?
they really- trust me, people are, and I feel like I learned how to be that when I went to Lincoln. Like
Yeah.
I had to figure out that inner me. Like, okay, I gotta let this out, bro, because this ain't gonna be me every year, bro. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be that before somebody does that to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it it's awesome and it's also crazy. Like even coaching here in Colorado, it's not like that at all. I'd say it's similar to Montana, how some things are ran, but um different areas, different environments kind of influence those kinds of things. Culture, you know what I'm saying? Like the the rich preppy high schools or even colleges, they get down a little different than the Title One low income schools and people coming from some
Exactly.
places that are just completely different. Because I think at that point, um, basketball as one of those sports means something completely different to people getting it out, as we say it, like getting out the mud, than somebody who it's just so accessible to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
So I'll elaborate on that real quick, but like
yeah.
when you go to playing in these public schools, it's not like you're just learning. You're learning off the court as well, like how to move, how not to be like this person. Like I'm gonna go to class, I'm gonna get my stuff done, I'm gonna show up, be on time. Like you learn those things in those type of environments as well because you see it and you see a path for yourself. And I'll tell kids now, like you gotta know, like you can see it, bro, when something's not right, and you know you're supposed to do good. So
Hmm.
keep yourself on that straight path because that's gonna take you a long way. The moment you drift off, anything can happen, bro. Like one mistake.
Hmm.
So I'm blessed to have a straight path mindset. Okay, I'm gonna get it done. So that's a lot of things kids got to focus on too, is just having that straight path mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember you talking like in high school, like you didn't go to maybe the safest spot in a lack of a better term, or it was some different challenges, in that area
Yeah,
in ways you had to move and kind of navigate your environment. Well,
yeah. So like Franklin Pierce in Parkland is my neighborhood. You know what I mean? I grew
yeah.
up in that neighborhood. So I was comfortable.
Hmm.
I knew everybody. So when I went to Lincoln, it was like I had cousins at school. I had friends who played basketball, but it was just a whole new beast. I'm like, damn, I'm learning who everybody really is. I see people, but I'm going to school with these people. So you just learn how to just stay in tune with yourself, get stuff done. Because I remember transferring and the principal telling me, like, like the graduation rate's low. He's telling my parents this, kids are doing this stuff, they're drifting off to this. And I'm just like, I'm not here for that. I'm here for school and basketball, bro. I don't understand who you think I am. Like, I'm not into none of that. So I remember him telling me that, and I'm like, all right, this is way different than Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce was like a mixture of Asians, whites, you had everybody, just nerds. It was a perfect school.
Yeah.
So I just knew once I got to that school, I was like, bro, I got a straight path. That's all I was telling myself, straight path.
Yep.
Here for one thing and one thing only.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, it's just crazy. It's crazy because basketball can bring a person, from Tacoma, Washington, and then a person from Great Falls, Montana, and meet each other and to be on a college basketball team. You know what I mean? Like bringing people from so many different backgrounds. You already get that in high school, but I think college, it's just a different level. Like Australians, and I think I had a teammate from like Czech in Spain and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So your next step, obviously, you're talking to colleges. You're kind of going through all of that. What kind of led you down that JUCO path instead of maybe looking at a NAI right out of the gate, or walking on at a D1 or a D2 scholarship? Like, why JUCO? Keep going. I'm gonna check my phone. Keep going.
Yeah. So the JUCO I went to, Lower Columbia, I was already seeing the coach my junior year in high school. I had a friend, Michael Dupree. He played there, and we used to drive up there, go watch him. And I remember the coach talking to me at like halftime, messing around with me, and I was like, man, this guy's actually a cool coach. You like, consider him, because I never thought I was gonna play Division One. I was always realistic with myself. I felt like as a kid. So once it came to just like I played in the state tournament, Alan Brown, the assistant coach, my cousin Elijah Welch was telling him because he was playing there. He's like, you need to watch my cousin. You need to watch my cousin. Boom. They're like, oh, we're interested, but we don't know if we're gonna give him a scholarship. We got a lot of players. They were already good. So I went on my visit, and this was the only visit I went to fresh out of high school. And this was probably realistically the only school that showed interest into me. So when I got there, Coach Roffler, he was so straight up that I was like, oh yeah, I'm going here. He was like, look, Brian, like I got a point guard. He was from Tacoma at the time. He's gonna start. I got this other guard from this city. He's gonna probably play. And in my head, I'm like, I'm watching him, and I just trained when I was like, bro, I'm taking his spot. That's what I'm thinking the whole time. And that's what I did. But he had told me, he was like, look, I'm gonna give you a half scholarship because you went to Lincoln. And he went to Lincoln. I didn't know this. He was like, I don't know if your grades or how you're gonna do during the school year. And I was like, I'll take it. He was like, I'll pay, you're gonna get your second half of your scholarship paid for if you do well. So I was like, you know what? I kind of like this guy because he's challenging me, and he's putting his odds against me. So it made me show up every day when I went to Lower Columbia. So once I got there, mind you, this coach is crazy. Like 3 a days. Like I'm talking about
Oh,
6 a.m. weights. Then we go to class and we got practice, and then we're either running a mile, we're running the hill, or we're pushing boxes. Like I'm not making this up for like 2 months straight, bro. I was really contemplating September, October, like, bro, do I want to play college basketball? Like, do I belong here?
yep. Yep.
I was really asking myself, and he was like, he just had a lot of energy for like a 58, 60-year-old at that time. So it was just crazy to me that I'm like, bro, but he was doing it for so long, it was nothing to him. So
Yeah.
for us, I'm like, at that time, don't have a routine. Wakes is at 6. I'm waking up at 5:50. I'm sprinting to there. I'm getting there at 5:58. Perfect on time. Then he used to always tell me, you're not a leader. You're not ready. You're not focused. And as time got on, I'm like, bro, he's right. Like, this ain't, I don't know if I'm really set for this. But he set the bar of how to be a professional. Like, that is one coach that taught me how to be a professional. Weights, practice, school, extra work. Like, he used to tell us, I'll never forget this. He used to be like, nobody shoots at night, breaks into the gym. None of that shit. My greatest players did that. He said that one time, and I was that next player doing it because I was like, bro, I need to play more. I need to prove myself. I'm 5'10". I'm a buck 45 at this time, maybe. I ain't got no muscle mass, nothing. And he's like, eventually, time went on. He's like, oh yeah, Brandon is gonna be one of the best players on our team. So just growing and seeing what type of coaches you have, it pushes you as well. So you have to be careful with what schools you go to. So going to that junior college, it was majority a basketball and baseball school and volleyball. So it was a sports school, let's say that.
Yeah.
It puts you in that environment with athletes, everybody's competitive. Okay, I need to go to the next level. So that's why I chose that school because I feel like, okay, I'm going to get pushed. It's far away. It's just as far away from home. It's about 3 hours away. I can't go home, on the weekend. Like I got stuff to do. So I chose that school, and that was probably one of the greatest decisions. I would say my freshman year was a challenge because I was learning like anybody else as a freshman what to do, what not to do. I wanted to have fun. Um, but it just kicked in after the season. Like, bro, I didn't get no awards. We made it to the Final Four, which is like, I wish we would have won a championship. But I was like, bro, in order for me to get to the next level, I got to be somebody. And that's when I tapped into who I am today. I feel like just blacking out, I would say, and
Yep.
just being a professional at a young age.
Yeah. Yo, that sounds like a JUCO, you know. Uh just it's a different, the reason why I asked is just a different grind. Like you really, I feel like odds are not necessarily against you, but it's a big gamble, right? Like it's really competitive. You got guys filtering in and out as you do everywhere else, but at the JUCO level, like it's like, okay, what's my goal from this? Like a lot of people go to JUCO and they just play 2 years and they're done, right? Like they're done.
Exactly.
But then there's other people going to JUCO. I'm using this to prepare myself for the next step, right? Because I want to not only become a better basketball player, but I want to get a good opportunity somewhere else down the road too. Whereas
Yep.
I could go sign to a 4-year school and sit there for 2 years, year and a half, season and a half, whatever it is, and not develop as much. Or I can go here and hoop and play a lot more. And it's
Uh-huh.
tough, dude. It's tough. Smaller colleges, I'm not quite sure. You said Lower Columbia or Columbia Basin?
Lower Columbia.
Yeah.
So I
Small
was in the
town?
NWAC. Small town, very
Yeah.
small, like just as big as Great Falls.
Yeah.
It's just everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not much to do. Like it was just like school and basketball, school and basketball. So that's why I loved it because it just gave me a routine of like, okay, this is what I need to do. If I want to graduate, I got to be on time. I got to go to school. I got to get my stuff done. And being at that school, though, like so many people held you accountable. A lot of these JUCOs don't hold people accountable. They just let you, they just let you do whatever.
Yeah.
But we had study tables. We had our coaches on us. We had people outside of our coaching staff that were, investing in us, that were checking in on us, if we needed food or do we need help with homework. Like that school was so invested in the basketball program that I'm grateful for to this day because some of these JUCO stories I'm here, I'm like, damn, like I'm glad I didn't go there. Like I was invested in, like people took care of us and
Yep.
actually cared what we wanted to do. They wanted our goals to be achieved. So you got to be mindful of what school you pick going to junior college because, like we said, like it's out the mud. So you want to pick which one that's a little bit better, that's not too muddy. That's how I felt like I picked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and the NWAC, from what I hear, is no joke either.
Oh, it's tough. Every night is tough. Like, bro, you might be playing against a 35-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people. So it's just you got to adapt. And I grew up watching the NWAC as well, so I'm grateful. Like I said, I watched the player play, so I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
But you don't once you get in that environment, you're like, damn, like this is actually junior college. People are competing for scholarships. People are it's a dog eat dog environment. Like it's so hard to make it out of here. So you have to make a name for yourself because everybody on your team was probably the man in college, probably didn't have the grades or probably did something wrong. So you have to like find a way to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. And I was lucky enough to be in a position where the coach had trusted me. He's like, look, this is going to be your team. You're the point guard. We're going to let you rock out. And I was blessed enough to have that. Especially in that environment, it's tough because people want to have that as well. So just to hold that standard up for players it's tough, but I wouldn't I wouldn't trade it, man. Junior college really is a great wave to go down if you understand the path of where you're trying to go.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. You hear a bunch of great JUCO stories too, um, who go and play professionally or make it to the league or even just get an opportunity at a D1. It's one of those places where sometimes I reflect because my first 2 years until before you came, your first year is when I like gained some trust, and we'll talk about that to actually play some basketball. But like those first 2 years, like in retrospect, like I should have just went JUCO and developed myself, and I probably would have been able to develop in more ways than I was able to at
Uh,
at UP at the time. But I'd never trade it for the world. But it's just one of those things you think about because you get to play if you get in the right situation, right? It's everything's all about the right situation. Um, but a lot of great stories come out of there, and you're definitely one of them. Like you look at a guy like, let's say Dalton Connect, for example. He's probably one of the most recent ones who's been getting a lot of love coming out of JUCO, right? He went to high
yeah.
school 5 minutes from where I live. You know what I mean? And I talk with some coaches around here. Hey, like, what was it like coaching against Dalton Connect? And they're like, he was just another kid out here. You know what I mean? He wasn't something like, oh, he was good, but he wasn't like, oh,
Yep.
this is generational. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then he goes to JUCO and develops. Derek White's another one. He's from the Denver area, South Denver, and I've asked about him too. And they're like, dude, Derek White was the kind of the same way. He was just kind of this small, scrawny kid, but then he obviously grew like 6, 7 inches with that, which definitely
Exactly.
helped him. But they say the thing about those guys was, I think Derek White went JUCO, but they fucking loved the game. Like Derek White would be the last one to leave the gym. He would outwork everybody. He didn't just get that good because he grew. He already had like a
Uh-huh.
work ethic and a hunger for the game before it. And you see a lot of that of dudes coming out of JUCO, man. And so after you get out of, Lower Columbia and you start looking at that next step, how did the University of Providence kind of come into play? And were there any other colleges kind of, talking to you at that time?
So first and foremost, I probably was gonna go to Montana Western before
Oh,
Coach
yep.
Keller went to UFP. But I had one school that I was probably gonna go to, but once I went on my visit, I was like, bro, there's too many distractions. I know for sure that I'm now I don't think I'm gonna be as successful as I would be somewhere that's secluded. So Holy Names University, it was a D2 in Oakland,
Mm.
California. So at that time, I'm what 19. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Oakland. I'm gonna play. I remember Coach Sanchez. He had everything set out for me in my visit. It was a perfect visit. Like I felt like it was my type of vibe. But off the court stuff, like I never told Coach Sanchez this ever, but he probably will see this because we're still close to this day. But it was the off the court, like after the workouts and stuff, because I was there for a week and I was like looking at the teammates, what they were doing. We did some stuff. We went out. I seen stuff, and I'm like, like, hold on, California might be way too fast for me, bro. I'm coming from a JUCO. I'm used to just going to the gym, the classroom, and my room.
Mm.
There's too much that I can go to the Bay. I can go to University of California. I can go to San Jose. Shoot, LA is only about a 5 hour drive. Like, there's so
Mm-hmm.
much you can do. So I had a great visit. It was just like once I seen those stuff off the court, I knew for me, I was like, nah, like I was telling myself on that fly, I remember like I can't go there. I'm gonna go take this visit to U of P.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Keller, he kept calling me, convincing me. Took that visit. Now, mind you, that was one of the most wildest visits, but it ended up working out. So I got there, JC, and Coach Keller picked me up, and I was with Jackson as well. And I can remember to this day, like I did my workouts, perfect workouts. I played good, did good in the 5-on-5, and they took me to a rodeo. I was like, what's a rodeo, bro? So now I'm at a rodeo, like I'm dressing like where I come from, and I'm people in there with cowboy like hats, boots, and I'm in there in some J's, maybe some shorts, and maybe a Tupac shirt or something at the time. So I just felt uncomfortable, but I felt like being uncomfortable was something I needed because I was like, okay, this might make me a better player. This might push me to something that I'm not used to. And when I went to my visit, I wasn't thinking about how cold it gets out there. I wasn't thinking of none of this. They were telling me. And Coach Keller, mind you, he had players from Tacoma, so that was a big reason why I
Yep.
went there too. I
Yep.
heard
Yep. Yep.
how successful they were, how they played professional, like Brandon Brown, growing up, who's an underground GOAT in Tacoma as well. And he's
Dog.
probably like 15-year pro, you know what I mean? He's still playing.
Yeah.
But when Coach Keller was telling me these things, I was like, all right, this is probably where I'm gonna go. There's not too much to do here. And I don't know if I seen you on my visit as well. Maybe I did.
We did, bro. We played
I
at we were playing at CMR, and
It was the 5-on-5.
I pulled up. I didn't even know there was recruits because this was Keller just took the team over. I don't even think Keller and JC thought I would still be on the team. You know what I
Keller
mean?
didn't even have an office when I was there. He didn't
Yeah.
even have an
He
office.
was
So
he
that's
was
how early they were.
he was living in the dorms. I remember he was living in the dorms, and he had me like help bring some stuff up to his room. But I remember I like just got off of work, and I like drove over there like, hey, we have runs over here. Come if you want. You know, like I'm still getting to know them, and I kind of like pull up, and I was growing my hair out at that time, and I pulled up in a bandana,
I think
and
you had a white bandana. I remember that.
yeah, and so I had the bandana to keep my hair out, and you know me, I'm a little quirky and stuff like that myself, just in just like fashion and stuff. But I remember I saw you, and I was like, oh, who's this guy? You know what I mean? I remember I watched you play. I think I was on your team, and I don't think we lost. And you said something. You're like, oh, I like playing with you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's when we first met you, was when you're on your visit. Because everyone was new. Nobody in that open gym knew if they were going to be on the team next year or not. Because Keller had the
Yep.
ability to say, "No, I'll bring my
Get
own
out of here.
guys in," you know, like whatever it is.
He's
Because
like,
we were pretty bad before you came. We had a lot of talent, like, and I hate saying this, but like overall, I think those teams before Keller technically had more talent. We just didn't know how to play as a team. I
yep.
obviously didn't play that much because the guys I was behind, they were insane, dude. They were absolutely insane. And so I'm like, dude, I didn't get to play too much. Like, who knows? But those open gyms were like my tryouts. I looked at too. I was like, I just worked 6-7 hours. Like, I got to go to this open gym and at least show Keller I could do something, man.
Exactly. You had to prove yourself. Just like when I showed up, I had to prove myself. So like I remember JC and them having weights, workouts for me like set at this time, and I was like, you know what, I like this. And I forgot what was our weight trainer's name. I can't think of it right
Coach
now.
Will.
Coach Will. I knew the first weight session, I was like, yeah, bro, this is somebody's different. He's pushing me. And in weights, I never really had a weight coach before. So just to have that and it was accessible at that time, I was all right, that's a bonus. And then Coach JC and Coach Keller's resume, I was okay. We could turn this program around, and eventually be where we want to be a championship team. And we played good that junior year. Like I would say it was a learning curve. We didn't have like too many players as well. Like we weren't that big. We had JF playing the 5.
Yeah.
So like think of that. Like we were still getting it out the mud and somehow still trying to be successful as well.
Mm-hmm.
But going to Montana was a great decision. Only thing I did not like was that cold, bro. I
I know.
couldn't.
I know, bro. Nobody did. For me, it was like I grew up in it. You know, it is what it is. But you would have your jacket, and then like a jacket. You would have our zip up, but a hoodie underneath and a jacket over the
Yep.
top. You know what I mean? And your boots. You guys be walking. It's like like for everyone who doesn't know, from the dorms to the gym, you're probably taking about 60 steps, maybe.
Facts.
But at 5 in the morning, you know what I mean? And sometimes that gym wouldn't even be warm yet, you
Don't
know?
have heat. I had a thermal on under our shorts, long sleeve. I'm looking at myself like, bro, I can see my breath in there. Like, bro, what's going on in this gym? It's way too cold in here to be doing this. That was the hardest part. Like Washington was like, okay, it rains, but the snow,
Mm-hmm.
that used to kill me because if we get snow in Washington, it's like school's canceled.
Yep.
I wake up in Montana, the snow's up to my knee, and like you still got class, even though class is not far. But I'm like, bro, this is unheard of, bro.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah. It's crazy. Like living in Colorado, it's you would think in Colorado, snow, but they cancel school when it hits like 3 inches or something like that. Like because of the
weird.
roads and whatever. But um, it's definitely different when you had teammates from Australia or like LA or Cali or Florida or the Midwest, places like that. They're like, you can't really prepare for it. Um, but again, to kind of what I said at the beginning of this pod is like NAI basketball, and it's interesting to me that you chose an NAI school over a D2 in Oakland, and your thought at the time is like, this isn't going to be like, this is a good situation, but I could see it being in some ways maybe a
Yeah.
bad situation for me, and having that self-reflection about it. um but like the NAI, like you got to get out the mud too, because
Oh yeah,
we don't get the fanciest stuff. We get enough, but like you don't get that kind of treatment maybe as you would at that D2 in Oakland. You know what I mean?
exactly. So when I first went to Providence, we were Under Armour. So like that threw me off. I was like, who's wearing Under Armour, bro?
Nobody.
Like,
Nobody.
like I didn't even like I remember me and Keller fighting. Like I was like, bro, I'm not wearing them shoes, bro. Like I'm not wearing them. I think our senior year he tried to force us to wear it, and I was like, bro, I'm not wearing those.
Yeah.
But that was the hardest part, like getting it out the mud, and especially our junior year, we didn't have a name for ourselves at U of P. We didn't win it like we won games to the point our senior year that okay, we could be somebody. And then once we added Z, who was already sitting out that year, it was like, all right, our name got bigger, bro, because we
Yep.
had better players. Better players wanted to come play for us.
Everyone
Now coach
returned for
is
the most part, except for like two or three people.
everybody returned. Now coach has his system down. People know what to expect. So that senior year was easy. But
Hmm.
the junior year was hard, bro. Everybody was adjusting. Coach was adjusting. I'm adjusting. JoJo, Austin, everybody was just adjusting to everything new. Like living, basketball. Like I remember, like, bro, everybody's adjusting. You see it now, but at that time you don't see it. Like I didn't understand it. But now that I look back, I'm like, bro, everybody was adjusting, bro.
Oh yeah,
So just to win, what did we win? 19 games that year? It
we
was
were.
impressive because y'all
Yeah, you need 20 to get to the
how,
national tournament.
we needed 20. I think we had 19 or 18, if I
19,
remember.
19. We were one off, I
And we
believe.
lost. And we lost that Northern. I remember like it was yesterday. And I was on the bench. This is a great story to tell now that we're on the podcast. And I was on the bench and I'm like had some tears in my eyes because we're one game and you were like, bro, just remember it for next year. And I remember you picking me up like, bro, just remember it for next year. Remember it for next year. And I was like, bro, you're right. We still got one more year. So
Hmm.
that's a great story. You was always a great vocal leader, bro. Like always. You had that mindset at an early age, which I wish I had.
Yeah, bro. Like for me personally, I I just felt like that was one of the things that I needed to do. You know what I mean? I wasn't the most athletic guy. I wasn't, the highest score or anything like that. Everyone knew I could shoot, that kind of stuff, but I knew like I don't know what it is about me, but I was like I feel like this is what I need to do for this team, and I kind of started that in high school, like with my high school teams.
Yeah.
Because I always kind of wanted to be a leader. And being with dudes, that junior year for me, it was really refreshing because for one, I proved to myself like, hey, like I can play. Because in high school, I wasn't the guy either. In high school, I
Hmm.
was a shooter, and I don't think a lot of people expected me to actually play all 4 years in college. Well, 5 because I redshirt. Um, but being able to go into that junior year and like see guys who, you know, were really bought into the same common goal, and I always look at the bigger picture down the road. Like, yeah, dude, we should have beat Northern. Honestly, they were a good basketball team too. They like you would like go to college in Northern's
There's
probably worse than Great Falls, and they still had some dogs up there. You know what I
what I'm
mean?
saying. Yeah, good players. In that
And
league period, there was good. There was good
oh yeah,
players.
I'd say Frontier's probably one of the best conferences in the NAI. Um, but I was like, I always knew it was like the senior year for us. Like that first year, it was like, yeah, we wanted to win as many games as possible, yada yada yada, and give the seniors, JoJo, Austin, Jack. Trying to
Yep.
think who else was a senior. I think that was the only three. We didn't have
I
too
think that was
many.
it.
Make sure they go out right. We were competitive and we were winning games and stuff, but I knew like the senior year was the year, and just the bigger picture of things. Like one game for me personally is like, hey man, we can learn a lesson from it. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember
Exactly.
like through that whole time, I remember I would have to like talk to you and be like, bro, just ignore Keller because he's the guy who will purposefully piss you off, try and get you to play better. You know
Hey,
what I
am I
mean?
mistaken? He's a major in psychology, right? I
Yes.
think he has a major.
Uh
So
huh.
he used to play mind games with everybody. Now that I'm older,
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, he was doing this on purpose. He knew how to get the best out of players. So like that's why I say my junior year was tough. I was like, bro, all right, man. It's like I've never had a coach like even if I'm chewing gum, he's like, "Why are you chewing gum today?" I'm like, "Bro, like, what's going on?" Like, bro, he was on me so much as a coach. Like, maybe now that I look at it, and I was coaching kids a couple months back. If your coach is not yelling at you, bro, it's a problem.
Right.
It really is. So, like, if he's not on you, it's a problem. So, growing up, seeing that, and having you to tell me, like, bro, it's good. Like, just relax. I never had nobody on me like that. It was just like a fly, like in my
Mm-hmm.
ear all day all day. But he's seen potential in me, obviously. Um, he did at that time, bro. I was young, so I'm grateful that he could stand me at 19, 20, 21 years old. Because
Yeah.
when I look back at him, I was like, bro, I wasn't that accountable. I was messing around a lot. I didn't know how to be a leader yet. And
Oh,
he brought the best out of you, but at the same time, I was still a kid, bro. Like I was so young, and young mindset. And I'm forever grateful for Keller, but bro, that was probably I'll give it to him. He is the toughest coach I've ever had.
dude,
Toughest.
he's yeah, man. He's a great coach for various reasons because he does play those mind tricks with you, but I think it makes people play better. He knows how to press the buttons. Sometimes it's like, all right, coach, you're tripping right now, man. Like, come on, like
Yeah.
get off B. You know what I mean? Get off Z. But he's one of those guys. He didn't. You guys were our top dogs. You Z, like you guys were our top dogs, and he coached you so much harder than he coached majority of everybody else. He coached everyone hard, but he made sure you two were always accountable for what you did. And it would piss you guys
Yeah.
off, but at the end of the day, um, I honestly appreciated that because I've been in situations playing where certain guys got certain treatment and that other guys
Yeah.
didn't. And to see our two leading scorers or two, leaders of the team, be coached just as hard, if not harder, as everyone else, and everyone's on the same standard. I was like, I think that's what really made us good too, is how
Yeah.
he kind of went about it. Like he pissed a lot of people off for sure. But
Oh no, for sure.
you know what I mean? But I don't think there's many players that wouldn't say they don't love Coach Keller because at the end of the day, when he does that, but you still win, and knowing he had your back the way he did and still does today, it goes a long way. Like he could, like, bro, like for example, let's say we were in a scrimmage or something, and we were scrimmaging some of the red shirts and second, third string guys. I'd pop between both teams and get reps, and
Yeah.
think you had a couple turnovers or you weren't running the play because you're getting buckets or something like that. You're trying to get your shot, and he gets on you. All right, let's take a water, but he's still getting on you, and you're like trying to go get a drink of water or something like that, and you could just hear him on the other. He was talking just loud enough so you could hear him across the gym, and it was just
Yeah.
like, man, couldn't get a break. And he would just do little things like that, and just constantly, like you
Hey,
said, is like a fly.
he's a true definition of show up to work every day. Like
Yeah,
he didn't take no days off. Like that's one coach where I'm like, bro, you don't take no days off. Like even off the court. That's like a coach that was actually like holding me accountable off the court as well. Like he knew what I was doing with me thinking not knowing that he knew. Like
right.
that's what I'm saying. Like to have that type of coach that's on you on and off the court is you gotta appreciate it because down the line it's gonna work and in your benefit. But Coach Keller, like I give him his flowers. I haven't seen Coach Keller's you know what? I take that back. I seen Coach Keller when Z was playing in the summer league. I came across him. And
Okay.
mind you, I'm gonna give him his flowers again. He introduced me to somebody that got me a job in Ireland. So it's a full circle moment. Like he doesn't get his flowers. Me and Coach Keller haven't had a conversation on the phone. Like we probably need to have that
Mm-hmm.
because we haven't. The last time we spoke was like an argument. We was beefing. So one day, as a man like I am, I hopefully I can pick up and give him that call. Like I appreciate you, Coach.
Oh yeah, he'd answer. He'd definitely answer. I send him. I'll always like he's that just shows the love that I have for him and that he gets from his players. Like I'm always telling him happy birthday, or he'll text or message you on Facebook or like whatever it is. But yeah, man, he's great. And my first coach, AO, he was a great coach too. I think he's in the NWAC. He's at Columbia Basin, JUCO now.
Mm.
I'm glad he's doing well, but um, Coach Keller is definitely a great dude, man, and he is show up to work every day. For everyone who doesn't know this, and I'm pretty sure it's public knowledge now, the guy had a heart attack in the middle of our season, our junior year.
Yes.
The dude had a heart attack, and he comes into practice like, I don't know, a week later, maybe not even a week later, just freshly has stents in his heart. He's like, yeah, guys, like I can't yell and I can't do this. Like I need to really control my blood pressure, whatever it was. And
Yep.
end of practice, he's screaming, flipping out, pacing back. Like he'd get this little pace going, dude, and his hair would start to kind of stick up,
Yeah,
bro.
he does that walk. He has that certain smooth pace walk. People
Yep,
got to understand. He has a certain walk to him.
yep,
I remember that he did have a heart attack because we played Western, I think, the next game, and he wasn't there.
yep,
And that was JC's first win as a head coach.
yep,
I remember that. I
yep.
remember that.
Dude, talk about somebody who was just as important as the head coach as JC, dog. Like,
Oh yeah.
man.
I would say I had two greatest assistant coaches. So my at Lower Columbia, Coach Allen, he's the one who taught me how to be a professional, getting in the gym, working on specific moves, be a better shooter. Because he transformed me from being an average player to a first team and MVP player the following year to the point that I'm like, bro, I want to be a pro. Like he programmed my mindset, like you can do it, bro, you can do it. And he played at Northern. Speaking of Northern, he played at Northern, Allen Brown. So when I told him like, hey, I want to go to the Frontier, he was like, it's going to be a good school for you. You're going to learn a lot. It's a hard league, like it's not that easy. So he helped make my decision. So once I met JC, I was like, I was kind of like on the fence with JC because I was like, is he gonna be like Coach Allen? Am I gonna get in the gym? Is he gonna push me? Like I need to get, me, I'm trying to get my individual work in too as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be the best player I can be. So when I first got there, JC was on board, like, okay. And JC was more tactical, film, um, the outside of basketball, like, emotional intelligence stuff. Like
Yep.
he was into that stuff. And looking back on it, that was the most important thing, bro, was film and the emotional side of basketball. Because I'm good at doing this, shooting and showing
Mm-hmm.
up and working hard. It's the outside stuff, the film, the emotional side. He always held me accountable with that. So JC was like a big factor to why I'm a professional now. Both of my coaches were.
Mm-hmm.
So I think him being a head coach now, like, it's not a surprise to us because like he had it at the assistant coach level he was at. Like we knew he was gonna be a head coach eventually.
Yep.
Like we all knew it. We was rooting for him to do that.
Oh yeah, we all knew. I think we all kind of had an idea he would take over after Keller. there would be nobody else better to take over that job after Keller retired. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
like same for me though with JC. Like the film aspect. Like we watched film before, you know, like high school in those first couple of years, but I feel like JC definitely took it to another level, and the scouting reports were awesome, and just
Yep.
like a personable guy. You know, he's also a dude, and Keller was like this too. But like, if they saw you're struggling, they'd pull you aside and make sure you're good. Like, what do you need? You need anything? You know, like when Keller first got the job at UP that spring, so right before you came. Um, Backstory: Keller was my dad's head coach in high school. They made a state title run, lost in the title game, you know. So Keller like knew my family and knows my family pretty well. But like my grandpa Mike passed away, and
Hmm.
I didn't have any personal relationship with Keller or anything like that. But he pulled up to my grandpa Mike's funeral because he also kind of knew my grandpa too. But also just to like show support, and he was like, "Hey, if you need anything, like you let me know." Like right off rip, and I'm like, "Damn!" Like just the love that I felt from those two, even though Keller would get on us sometimes and you know get a little spicy. Um,
You
you
can't
definitely
forget
yeah.
you can't forget Keller's wife. Was the only person that keeps him
Oh
the only
yes,
person that keeps him controlled.
Mary Kay,
I think
Angel.
Mary Kay is the reason why he cares for us so much as well. Because she's like, "Is he okay? Is he? How's everything at home? How's school?" Like
Mm-hmm.
she was always asking that for us.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a level of accountability as well.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, man. Just it was just a great experience, dude. And like our senior year, you know, junior year it was awesome. I think we put UP back on the map. Um, and we got that going into senior year. We obviously get Z. We added. Did we add anybody else? Um,
Who did we add?
I think
I
it
don't
made
know.
Dawson and she.
Dawson and She. There you go. Dawson and She. Yep, you're right.
Caleb was a freshman. Um,
Yep.
because that junior year it was like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's figure out who can do what. So I remember I didn't play too much those first couple games until we went to Seattle because Keller had some kind of like suspension for
Yep.
like the Z situation or something weird
We
like
went.
that.
We played at Seattle. We went to Northwest. I remember
Northwest.
that.
Yeah, we went to
Yep.
Northwest, and I remember there was a game. It was a close game. I think it was Northwest, and I didn't really play too much in that game. But then JC threw me in, and I hit like 2 or 3 threes or something like that. And then after that, I started to get a lot more run. And then
And we won that game too.
yeah, we won that game. That tiny ass gym. You know what I
And
mean?
it
Like
was a home game for me. I remember because everybody from that side knew me. I remember people were on me so much in the crowd that game.
yeah,
I was like,
people were
damn.
talking to you. And you were, of
I-
course, you're talking back, right? We're trying to like
Yeah.
pull you back. Hey, we gotta go play defense, dog. You're over there. There was one dude. I think you were like chest to chest with them, talking, and we're like,
Yep.
oh shit, we're going out the back door, making sure B just get to the car after this. Um, but yeah, like I think like that like stretch of 2 games I think we had out there was kind of the turning point for our year, knowing that okay, we're actually kind of good. You know what I
Yep.
mean? For one, we got the team bonding aspect of like it's our first travel together. We're kicking it in the hotel and stuff like that. And then as the season went on, we went to Seattle, not Seattle, but Phoenix not too long after that. And then
Yep.
we are 1 game short of making the national tournament, and Rocky got in over us out of the Frontier, which I thought was crazy because we just beat them by like 30 right before that.
Yep. I think we beat them twice that year.
Yeah, we beat them twice. Um, however, they got in over us, but going to that senior year, man, it was a lot more established. You know, we knew what we had as a core, and then you add Z on top of that. Um,
Yep.
and then you have a kid like Dawson, who's just a crazy athlete himself, and then here comes the kid called Caleb Currington, who didn't really play much at the beginning of the year, but turned out to get a lot of run. He was your backup. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What did we start? 15-0?
But I think Yeah, we did went 15-0. You're right. Just to think about that is crazy. We went 15-0.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think 15-0, and we played a couple exhibitions. We lost one of the exhibitions. We beat we beat Dixie State at the time. They're Division 1 now. We beat them the year
Yep.
before they became a Division 1. Now they're called like Southern Utah or something like that.
I think
Um,
it's like, yeah, Southern Utah.
um, but like we were dogs, dude. And then we hit a little slump there at the in the middle of the year once conference started, but we were kind of picking it up at the end. What
Yep.
looking back at that senior year, what's something that maybe you would have wished you'd done differently, and then something that like you're kind of proud of?
Bro, I'm gonna start off what I wish I would have did differently. I wish I'd have been less emotional, bro. Like losing games, I hated losing. I didn't know how to control my emotions, so like it probably affected the team. It definitely affected how I played. I wasn't like being emotional is the number one thing. Like I was an emotional basketball player, bro. I didn't know how to control it. Keller's on me, so everything, body language was just written on my face. So that's one thing I wish I could have controlled better.
Yeah,
Um, and as a team aspect, I wish I was probably a little bit of a better leader because once it got to, when we were losing a couple games in conference is like big, this is what's going to get you into the tournament. There was times where I'm like, damn, like, am I even doing a good job? I wasn't as confident as being a leader, and I wasn't playing as well either. Um, but one thing I'm proud of is that's tough. I would just say like just showing up every day. You know what I mean? Just showing up
yep,
is already half the battle. Like I'm just proud of myself showing up every day. I feel like that was a tough year, like because we were so good. I had to adjust. For me, I was adjusting. Coach was making adjustments for me. Okay, I might not play point guard. I might play shooting guard today, but I want to play point guard. So that was an adjustment. Then, we're putting in new systems, we're putting new this. Like everything was getting switched because of conference. You got to be tactical, you got to do this. Like it was really hard to adjust at times.
yep.
And then I would say like that senior year, so many things happened. It was like, damn, Kobe died. Like, do I want to play basketball? Like, is basketball that important? So that's the emotional side of it too. Like I was so emotional that rolled over because that was towards what the end of league when he died.
Dude,
So
yeah.
being emotional, being too attached to it. But just getting through that season, bro, showing up every day was probably like one thing I'm proud of. And I also regret like how I left too when the season ended for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wish I wouldn't have never did that, but it is what it is. You live and you learn.
Yep. Hey man, I'll say this: I feel like you were always a leader for sure. Just based off of, I mean, we were talking about routines, right? You
Mhm.
had a routine at that point. I think that's when you started to figure the routine out. You would be up at 5 in the weight room, and then you would still lift with us, right? You'd be at 5 getting
Yep.
shots up, doing your thing. And I watched you and Z like have these pretty, strict routines, and that was something that I was new to at the time, um, because I didn't really have a routine. It was like my routine essentially was okay, practice at 6 in the morning. I got to get there at 5:20 because I got to get my ankles taped, go get a proper warm
Yep.
up. Like I never showed up
Exactly.
late. Like I took pride. That was kind of my routine, like showing up early to things, yada yada yada. But you were always a leader because the way you showed up and the effort that you constantly put in to the work that we did. Like there was never a
Exactly.
practice where you slacked. There was never a practice where you were at the back of the line when we had to do a blood run. You know what I mean? There was never
Hmm.
a weight training session that you weren't taking it serious. Like you and Z, Jackson, Jake Olson, like you guys would constantly go in there and just put work in, weight room, conditioning, agility, stretching, like ab work
Exactly.
after practice, ab work after practice and weights. You would go do your extra set of abs, your extra set of glutes or hips or whatever it was. And for me personally, bro, like I really looked up to that, and I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on here is because that's where one of my regrets come from when I look back at
Mhm.
things, because I'm proud of myself from the sense of I feel like I proved a lot of people wrong. Because I don't think a lot of people believed in me in terms of I averaged 9 points in Montana in high school basketball my senior year. You know what I mean? I didn't get any looks. Um, I was blessed to go to a tournament, have a really fucking good tournament. I had like 50 points in a game, and then the guy reffing my game, his son was at UGF, and so he hit
Yeah.
UGF up. Was like, hey, you guys at least get this guy on. And I think the coach brought me on because I'm a local kid. You know, let's see if he can bring some people. But I don't even think he thought I was going to play that much. But I worked on what am I good at? Shooting, right? But one thing I regret is I wish I would have put as much work in as you guys did, because I think I settled too much for I'm
Hmm.
just going to be a shooter. You know, I feel like I could have worked on some things where I can contribute in other places. But I really looked up to like UZ, and just because it was like, first off, you're my boys, and second off, there was a point in college where I was like, I need to just continue to surround myself with people who are constantly striving to be better and never just settling. I never get the vibe from you guys that we're not selling for shit, right?
Yep.
We're always going to continue and try and be better. And I think that's one
Exactly.
thing, and a lot of people that a lot of our teammates looked up to you. Like you look at Caleb. Like I remember
Yep.
you would take Caleb after practice and work with him like he was your prodigy, bro. You know what I mean? And you put a lot of confidence in that kid.
There
Toxic
was there
kid,
was
you know, but he's like a little younger
there
than
was there was
us. But
there was times where I felt like damn, I might be demanding too much from people. You know what I mean? Because
yep,
I'm like pushing myself so hard, but living with Z and then being with him every day is like, bro, it's constant. Like we're on routine, we're shooting after practice, we're lifting together, we're doing this. So like it was like such a brotherhood. So bro, we would be at your house 10 at night playing video games, and next thing you know, I'm like, bro, I'm going to the gym. Oh,
yep,
we're gonna just go to the gym. I'm just gonna go to the gym at 11, 12 at night. Get in trouble for going in there at night, hearing it from Killer, but it was like, bro, like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So like it was always in the back of my head. Like I always felt like I could show people how to be good at basketball, or it was like one of those, like I'm one of those you can just watch. And I feel like verbally I wasn't good at it yet, but I can show you, okay, I'm gonna
yep,
show my teammates, I'm gonna show up every day. Like
yep.
showing up every day, I'm gonna do that. Verbally, I wasn't good at it yet. So that's why I said I regret like that aspect of a leader, because I did show up every day. That's why I said I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's many days where I didn't want to show up, but it was like I'm here, let's get this shit over with. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna feel good about myself.
Yep.
So I was always blessed to have that. But like we had a good team, bro. Everybody held each other, especially my senior year, bro. That was one of our best teams, bro. Like just the way it ended was it sucked, but it was like, bro, that was one of our best teams, bro. As a team, bro, we were with each other a lot.
Yeah. It definitely sucked for how it ended, man, because I think we had a good thing going. Like I said, we started off 15 something, like something crazy, and we get in the conference, and again, the Frontier's no joke. Like we didn't have any
Yep.
easy games. Like Tech, when I was playing before you got there, Tech was always dead last in the league. We would always finish second to last in the league because we knew Tech wasn't that good. But my junior senior year, Tech got better. You know what I mean? I think
Mhm.
the only team that was maybe a little behind was Western, but like going in the Western and playing was never easy. We'd do pretty good with
Yep.
them at home, but like going there was never easy because we knew they're going to be on our ass because of Keller and Z. You know what I mean? And it's just a gauntlet. You play everybody 3 times, like a lot of travel, a lot of bus rides, bad weather, just
Yep.
stuff like I'm pretty sure we had a game canceled and had to be played the next day because of roads. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
And and I'm gonna say this now. There's been plenty of times we've traveled games, and I still don't know how the bus driver even seen the road, bro. Because I'm like, bro, this driving in the snow was ridiculous.
mm-hmm.
Like that's how bad it snowed out there. I used to be like, bro, how does he see where we're going?
Yeah,
How?
dude. it's bad. It's tough. Like, and I think a lot what came from that is a lot of camaraderie, right? Like a lot of time spent on the bus, talking, doing whatever,
Yep.
traveling, hanging out, just like whatever. I think those are obviously some of the best times of my life. Um, but just the way it ended, like you said, it just sucked because, obviously COVID just happened. We just lost a heartbreaker at Carroll. Easily could have won the game. Just a couple plays here and there just didn't go our way. A couple calls here and there just don't go our way. Um, but we knew we did enough to get into the national championship, and then next thing you know, everything shut down. Like it was literally like Rudy Gobert touched the mics and had COVID, and then everything shut down. Like,
Shout out to Rudy, man.
yeah, hey, dude, and it seems like that was a long time ago, but like it was such a big deal, and
Yep.
like I remember it was a Wednesday. We got bid into the national tournament as like maybe like a 3 or 4 seed or something like that. We had a really good side of the bracket, in my opinion. If I remember right, like we were pretty happy with but we thought we could have been like maybe the 2 seed, but we got like a 3 or 4. But we liked where we were, and that Wednesday we had like the pizza party. The girls got bid in, we got bid in. We were shooting in the gym and stuff, and
Yep.
then Thursday we get a text saying, "Hey, like season's canceled." I think maybe it was a text, or maybe JC called or had a meeting with us. It was like, yeah, like everyone has to go home. And I remember I went to the dorms. Only thing in Montana at that time that was open was a liquor store. So I went and got a little Crown Apple. I went to the dorms, said bye to my Australian friends, said bye to you, said bye to a lot of people, and that was it. And I haven't seen you physically since. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And for all that to just go and be washed away because of, obviously COVID is a serious thing, but and not being able to like go have it all come full circle for us and enjoy some of those moments that I felt like we deserved to. It was definitely a
I felt
heartbreaker.
we worked very hard to get to that point. So that's why I felt like I left so fast because I was like, bro, I don't want to get too attached to this. Like it was one of those life situations. Like, yeah, we really don't know what's happening. So I was like, bro, I need to move on because I remember sitting in my room, I was crying. I was like, damn, all this work put in is for nothing now. Like I gotta go home and figure out what's next. Like either it's basketball or what's going on with this world. So I remember Keller was telling me don't leave, like give it a couple days. And I'm like, bro, fuck this. Bought my flight. I was like, Keller, I'm out, bro. My flight's in the morning. And I remember him calling, he's crying. Mary Kay was crying, and JC took me to the airport, and that was the last time I was in Great Falls. I didn't really say bye to anybody. I remember I said bye to Z because he was my roommate, and the Aussies because they were my roommate, and I was out the door, bro. Like I was just like, whatever's next is next. Like at that point when I left, it sucked, but I was like, bro, what's next? Like I know I'm gonna graduate. Am I gonna be able to play basketball again? Like the way COVID was looking. So I was just trying to get attached to what was next besides, dwelling on the past. Cause I was like, bro, I couldn't even take all my stuff with me. That's how
No,
serious it was.
no.
Like I just left my shit there and I was just up and gone. So
Hmm.
that's why I regret not saying bye to everybody because you don't know, like I might not see you again, or it might be years till I see you. So like we haven't spoke or seen each other since. So it's like those are the moments you wish, like, damn, okay, I wish I would have did a little bit more before I left. But you live and you learn, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was in your dorm, dude. Like I remember you were packing. You're like, I'm getting the fuck, I'm out of here, bro. Like, because it was for one, it was scary, but for two, like, you had no choice. Like
Exactly.
they
They've
said,
given us 48 hours.
they had the international dudes had 24 hours. Like those guys got out probably before you did. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like it was absolutely insane. It was crazy. And from there, man, you know, For you, I just remember you going to LA. I'd FaceTime you, call you, text you, whatever it is, and you're just putting your work in, like just staying ready for your opportunity. Talk about kind of that because that's where I feel like you really kind of went into do not disturb and kind of put your head down and said, okay, I'm college basketball is no more. I got to focus
Yep.
on the next opportunity.
So when I got to LA, bro, so not only I lived in California, but I lived in Beaumont where my grandpa. So I was living with my grandpa. That's far from LA. That's like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from
Okay.
LA, like Los Angeles. So it's like a small town, bro. It was like being in Great Falls. So I was already used to waking up. Okay, I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna go shoot at the park. There was a park open at the time, and I was just doing that every day. So the accountability I put for myself because I didn't know what was next. I still wasn't looking for a job. There was nowhere to really work at that time. I was taking care of my grandpa, so I was waking up every day, bothering him, making sure he was good, and turning our garage into a weight room. Because the garage was like, when I got there, I was like, man, what is this shit? Like, this is a hoarder house. Like, let's get this shit out of here. So I went to Walmart. I bought all the last weights, like every weight. Like, I never went broke. Just buy as much weights as I can. Because I was like, bro, I don't know where I'm gonna live. I don't know where I'm gonna get better at. So that was a time where I went D&D. People would be like, it was hard to get to me.
Yeah.
And I'll say this now, like I was so focused, bro. Like when I look back at it now, I'm 27. At 21 is when I graduated. I was so focused. Like I was telling myself every day, I'm gonna be a pro. I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. But in order for me to get there, I gotta kind of black out.
Hmm.
Like I have to worry about me right now, because at that time, everybody's, it's COVID, so you're worried about your family, of course. And there's not much you can do for people at that time. Yeah, you can contact people in this, but it was like, I know this is the time of like either you're gonna sit or you're gonna keep working. And I was one of those. I was like, I'm gonna keep working. So me moving to California, bro, you wouldn't believe me, but like, bro, I'm playing 5-on-5 during COVID. Like people were like, "Oh, everything shut down," but I started going places where it was like, "Hey, we're playing 5-on-5 here." So during COVID, when you're not supposed to have contact or playing, I'm playing in these little spots. But mind you, I'm driving 2 hours every day. I'm going to Orange County. I'm going to LA. I'm going to Inglewood. I'm going to Compton just to play 5-on-5, bro. So this is during COVID. Like we had to show up, wear masks, and I'm playing. So that was a time where I blacked out because I was like, I'm not making money. I'm traveling all day. I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna be a professional. And it was at times where I was like, I'm not gonna pay my phone bill. So I'll be driving with just straight SoundCloud music, no phone. People probably calling me, and I got no phone service
Yeah.
because I'm like saving every dollar. I'm dream chasing. I'm trying to find a way, and I don't even regret doing that, bro. Honestly, because it made me the player I am today, and I had to manifest it every single day. And living with my grandpa slowed me down,
Hmm.
like legit slowed me down because I was like, my grandpa doesn't do anything. He wakes up, makes his breakfast, watches sports, chills. I'll probably help him in the backyard. And I was like, damn, this is all you do every day? And I was like, bro, okay. Like, I need to slow down. I just need to relax, figure out what I want to do, have a plan. I'm gonna go lift, I'm gonna go hoop, come home. I'm gonna try not to bring COVID back into my house.
Right.
That was that was the problem with me and my grandpa every day. He's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm just like, "Hey man, I'm just traveling. I don't know where I'm going." I would never tell him, "Don't bring COVID in this house." And my grandpa's 60 plus at this time, so thank God I never brought COVID. I never caught COVID. I'm thinking now it's not real because I'm hooping every day with people. So it's like
Hmm.
just going through that process was crazy. And eventually found myself working at a gym because I was like, I want to stay around basketball.
Hmm.
They tried to get me to coach at first, and I was like, no, I'm not coaching. I work front desk. And we're open during COVID, and we're not supposed to. We're the only gym open, bro, in LA, like all of LA, bro. So I'm working front desk. We got everybody coming to the gym from every neighborhood. I'm checking everybody in. I'm letting everybody hoop, but I had the keys to the gym. That's the one thing I wanted. So that's when you would see me in there at 2, 3, 4, 12
Yeah.
at night. Like that's how bad I wanted to be a professional. I was like, bro, I need to work in the gym. I need to figure out how I'm gonna get a key and I could be in this motherfucker every day, every night until I become a professional. So, it all worked out. Like that's why I said I blacked out because I was like, I need to figure it out.
Yep.
And it was like, bro, it worked out perfectly. I might have lost some friends along the way. They might have thought I was ignoring them, but it was like, bro, I knew what I had to do to make it, bro, because it was like COVID. It was a doggy dog environment. Like you got to figure it out.
Hmm.
So that's how I really approached it.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy. It was crazy because we would kick it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd kick it all the time.
Yeah.
You'd come pull up, bro. There would be times where I would be in class and I'd get to the crib and you and Z are already over there. Or you,
Yep.
Z, Thomas, like whoever. Like the crib was open to everybody, and then that time came around. It was really D&D. I'd shoot you a text and you maybe hit me back up 2-3 days later, or whatever it was, and it was just like, damn, he's really, because I knew who you are, and I know who you are from that aspect. Like I know
Yep.
that you're willing to go to extreme lengths in order to get what you want. I know you wanted to go play overseas. I knew what you wanted to do, man. And it's like, okay, here we go. Let's see it, man. Like
Yep.
just kind of waiting, and then next thing you know, I think you go to Ireland or Iraq, and it was
Yeah, I went
like
to Ireland first.
you went to Ireland, and then when you went to Iraq, dude, I was like, B's really that fucking guy. Like not in like a bad way at all, but like that guy of like he doesn't give a shit. Like if this is the only opportunity that he's offered, he's gonna take it. And as from like an American perspective, like oh, going to
Yep.
Iraq sounds psychotic, you know what I mean? But like seeing you post out there, first off, hooping out there, which is it was awesome to see because it's like okay, he's living his dream, you know what I mean? But to see the love that you got out there, bro, it was awesome. It was like you fully embraced that whole thing. But it all goes back to getting the keys to that, like being intentional with what you were doing in that
Yep.
time. You're very intentional in what you want and how you're going to go about it, because people can say, people can sit here and say, oh, I want to go be a professional basketball, oh, I want to be a college basketball player, but how intentional are you going to be in the work that you're going to put in, in order to
Yep.
get there? You know what I mean?
And I remember a professional telling me, he was like, bro, it's gonna be so isolated when you go be a professional. So that's why I went D&D. So when I went to these countries, I was isolated. I couldn't call nobody. I'm 10 hours ahead. I couldn't call my parents like to come save me. Like I'm miles away. So I knew going D&D, bro, was gonna help me get to where I wanted to because when nobody wants to be like, yeah, I'm playing in Iraq. Ain't shit to do in Iraq, bro. I show up, go to practice, weights, and chill in my room all day. Like there's not much to do. Now, mind you, I had my teammates my first 3 years there, like they all spoke English. So like I could go do stuff with them. It was like I was never in the house, but at the same time, there really wasn't much to do.
Yeah.
So going D&D before that made that shit so much easier, bro.
Hmm.
Like just isolating. It feels like you're in jail. Let's just say that.
Yeah. 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 What was it like being out there in Iraq? Like, I mean, obviously you probably hear biased stories here in America, but like, what was the experience like from the people and, you know, the club that you were playing with?
So I tell you, my first getting off that flight to Iraq, bro, like the air was different. I was like, bro, what is this, bro? Like, it's hotter than Vegas. The air is like, it's not as fresh. I'm like, bro, this is different. Now, mind you, I fly into Baghdad. So, you watch movies, you're like, bro, I've seen this airport. I've seen this on documentaries. So I fly into Baghdad and I'm waiting for my driver to pick me up. Mind you, I don't know that the city that I'm playing in is like 5 hours away. So he picks me up. We're going. I'm like, damn, we're not there yet. Like, we're not there yet. Where you guys taking me?
Yeah.
And I'm playing in a city called Kirkuk. And Kirkuk is probably one of the best cities. arguably arguably one of the best cities in Iraq. Like
Okay.
very clean, very cultural. People are nice. Like if they called me today and was like, "Hey, Brandon, we want you to play," I would go back there, bro, because I got so much love. I feel safe there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But going there my first year, it was it was tough because I didn't know what much to do. Like I'm trying to embrace the culture. I'm trying to embrace the environment. This environment is totally different than America. Like totally different. So, you got to get used to the power going off randomly. I might be chilling in my room, Wi-Fi goes out, electricity goes out, and it might be out for 5 minutes, a second, or an hour, 2 hours. Like you don't know. So it was like, okay, I gotta adapt, bro. Like this ain't America. Like when the shit used to go out, I used to be like, what am I doing? Okay, I got a book. I can do something. I can go walk around. I can, find something to do. So those hours of when the shit would go out, the electricity, that's when I started figuring out what the culture was like in Kirkuk,
Hmm.
in the city of Kirkuk in Iraq. Now, the people love Americans out there. So people are like, do they like you? Do they take care of you? No, bro. Like they love us out there. Like you got to think of it like a lot of the soldiers go there to protect them, to fight another gang basically,
Right.
that's trying to take over their city. So when they see Americans, of course, like, not everybody's perfect, but for majority of it, it was like, bro, we were there to protect them, not
Yeah.
to really harm them. Now, I'm not gonna get too political,
Right.
you know how me and you can get, but
Yeah.
it's like, you learn the good side and the bad side because I was actually there.
Yeah.
So I seen the damage we did. I seen, the good things we did as well.
Yeah.
And they're still bouncing back as a country from the war, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like there's been times where I was in Baghdad and I remember my first trip to Baghdad and I with my best friend Mustafa. And he's like, bro, let's go travel Baghdad. I'm like, bro, let's go travel Baghdad, bro. I'm like, bro. I'm like, all right, bro, let's do it. Put my shoes on. And I remember looking at a building. I'm like, damn, bro, like this looks like a video game. Like there's bullets, there's big holes in this shit. And I'm like, damn, like hold on, bro, this is different. And you would think, it's like at that time, it's still tainted, bro. It felt like you were still in war. Like the wires would be together. You probably got Comcast, DirecTV all in one, bro. That's how mixed up it was, you know what I mean, in
Yeah.
Baghdad. So you just got to be mindful and just embrace it like bro, this is a humble situation, and I feel like I'm a humble person,
Yep.
so just being in there I fit in. It's not like, I'll say like it's not like I'm a white guy walking around Baghdad. Like I'm
Right.
light skinned. I might look like some of them, so it made it easier for me. But I remember like if you were white walking around Baghdad, they're just looking at you like that's not normal,
Yeah.
so but one thing I can say about Iraq, man, is probably the greatest decision I've ever made in basketball, money wise. Um, Me as a human, understanding people and growing as a man. Like, yeah, nobody wants to go to Iraq, but like, bro, honestly, it made me such a better man and a human, bro. It was just like I could never take that away. So anywhere I go play, I'm like, I'm grateful, bro,
Mm-hmm.
because it's totally different out there. And I'm getting paid to play out there, and people are struggling. It's damn near still a war zone, if people say, so it's just really different. But I embrace it, bro. I love it. I can never say anything bad about it. Of course, business side, there's anything in business, it never goes too well.
Yeah.
But that's something you can't control. You kind of just, in Iraq is they ask you to get buckets. If you don't get buckets, your ass is going home. So that's why I embraced the role of like D&D isolation because my teammate might be my teammate, but the next game he might be going home. And
Mm-hmm.
that happens so many times, bro. Like my first year in Iraq, I had like 3 teammates, bro, in 3 weeks.
Damn.
So imagine sitting there every day, like, damn, if I don't play good, I'm probably next. I'm probably next. I'm probably next. That's all I'm thinking. So I was just showing up, just focusing on my craft, showing up to the games, trying to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that's it. It was wild when I saw that because like we didn't know. Like you again, you're on D&D. You're not like making it a post like, "Hey guys, heading to Iraq, to go.
Yeah.
I got a pro contract." I just see like a Snapchat or an Instagram post or something of like a story, and damn, B's in Iraq. Like what the
You
hell?
know?
Like what's this guy doing? You know what I mean? And it just like I was like surprised, but I wasn't surprised at the same time because I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" Like that's
I just
something,
never I never had no fear, bro,
right?
anywhere. Like, especially if I had to play basketball. So if you had to put me, which is probably the most hostile place, one of the places in the world, it was like, bro, I'm up for it. Like, I'm made for it. Let's do it. And I'm probably gonna grow from it anyway. Anywhere I go, I'm gonna learn anyway. So I wasn't scared, honestly, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I looked at the contract, I looked at the money, I said, let's get up out of here and hopefully I get paid. And
Yep,
I got paid, so I was like, bro, I'm doing it.
yep, yeah. So you spent some time in Iraq. You were in Egypt for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
where'd you kind of? You weren't in Egypt too long though.
I was in Egypt for like 2 months, bro, but that's probably one of the best places on this planet, bro. Like, I
Really?
wish I was there longer. Yeah, like I had a situation like when I left my team in Iraq because I was playing so well that three other teams offered me, and my coach didn't want me to leave, so we got in like an altercation, and I left. I went back to LA. Next, the next day I was on my flight to Egypt. A coach wanted me,
Yeah.
and I couldn't play the first 5 games because of FIBA rules of my transfer papers and shit. So they went 0-5 to start the season. So going 0-5, new coach, you bring in an American. Now I'm damn near got to be on some Kobe, LeBron shit. Like I can't lose the game. I
Right.
know how it is in the Middle East. So we won like our first 3 games, and then we went on like a 3-game losing streak, bro. And my coach got fired, which ended up me getting cut as well.
Yeah.
So, but in all the aspects of Egypt, bro, like I had my own apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. I was living in Cairo,
Oh
and
my
you know,
god.
like like I wish I would have had my phone and was recording more, bro. But like I was so starstruck that I was in Egypt. So, it was like a big ass LA and New York combined. Like it was so fast. Nobody went to sleep. Big buildings, millions of people. The basketball's high level. Like I played against OJ Mayo. Like I'm having dinner with
That's
OJ
crazy.
Mayo.
That's
Like
crazy.
I was so starstruck that I'm eating with OJ Mayo that I don't even ask him like, hey, can I get your contact? Like I wish I would have networked better, but I was just so like, hey, what'd you do to do this? How'd you like I was on some Kobe shit. Like, what do I do next?
Yeah.
Because I'm 25, OJ Mayo's like 38 at this time.
Yeah, dude.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm sitting there with him and I'm like, damn, I made it. I feel like I made it because I'm playing against ex NBA players, you know what I mean? So just to go out there, see how Egypt really is, seeing the pyramids, meeting the people. Like, I got friends in Egypt to this day. Like, I talk to, bro. Like, that was like probably one of the most like I can never like I still love Egypt to this day, bro. Like it's just mind blowing. Like I wish everybody could go experience going to Egypt, especially with me playing basketball and getting it paid for. So, but just going there, man, that was like it was a dope feeling. I felt like I made it, even though the situation sucked. You know how it ended, but business is business. At least I got to travel, experience, and learn from something.
Yeah, dude. I saw you outside, posted up outside the pyramids. And I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like, because again, man, like for me, it's like it's just cool to sit back and watch. And I know I'm not the only one who like feels like this. Like when I see a homie out there thriving and like pursuing dreams, like playing basketball, like everyone has that kind of dream. Like, oh, I want to be in
Yeah,
the oh, I want to be in the NFL, or oh, I want to be in the MLB or the NBA or play professionally, whatever. But to see somebody actually do it, because in this life, a lot of people just talk, and it's very admirable to see you. You don't just talk, you walk it, and you'll do anything to get yourself in that situation. And I think, you know, I'm only a year older than you, but it's like fuck, dude, I'm proud of that guy. You know, because
Yeah,
knowing things that you've had to overcome, and knowing how hard you've worked throughout your life, like it's cool to see it all be rewarded. And
exactly.
um, from there, did you go to Puerto Rico?
Nah, so when I went to Egypt, took like 4 or 5 months off, and then I went back to Iraq to play.
Yeah,
So Iraq was like my home base. Like I can always go back and play for a team. A team might want me because I was killing them,
mm-hmm.
good money. So I had a nice name there. So I went back to Iraq. So once I went back to Iraq, we played for like 3 months. We had like a 45-day break, bro. Like it was an insane FIBA break, and they were saying they didn't want to pay us for that break. And we weren't winning too many games, so I was like, bro, we might as well just send me home, bro. You think I'm gonna sit here in Iraq and not get paid? Like, let me get up out of here. So then once that ended, that was last year, 2025, and that's when I started thinking, like, damn, do I really want to play basketball? Because it's so inconsistent. You know what I mean? It's not like I started my career. I did start my career in Europe and Ireland, but I'm playing in a dog eat dog environment, what I'm used to. Like the Middle East, it's older players, high level players. Like I might get replaced by an NBA player.
yeah,
So it's really cutthroat. So I never got to experience being on a team and feeling comfortable and having a situation while I'm in Europe and everything's fine, 7 months, 8 months. It was like, bro, like anything can happen today. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? Nothing's guaranteed. Your contract can say guaranteed, but it's not guaranteed. So that's why you see players go to Europe and they're comfortable, they're settled, it's more cultural, it's more togetherness. But in the Middle East, bro, dog eat dog environment, bro. Like it's anything can happen. So me being experiencing that from 22, 23 to now is like, damn, like, okay, I was playing a grown man's game.
Yeah,
Like, literally, like, I'm playing a grown man's game. So I wish I was in Europe, but at the same time, I wasn't gonna take less, bro. Like, the money was good, the experience was great. It's basketball. I get to show up, get buckets. Like, who can deny that? And then after that, that's when excuse me, I started thinking, like, damn, do I want to play basketball because it's so inconsistent? I'm gonna start coaching and training. I went head first into coaching and training, went hard for about 5 months, and a situation happened. I had to take a step back from it. And I was like, you know what? I want to get back into basketball. I want to refocus into something I love because I was making good money. I was getting too comfortable. I felt like I was living the LA lifestyle a little bit too
yeah,
much. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is when an opportunity in Argentina came up. I'm gonna go play in Argentina. And I was like, without a doubt, I was like, yeah, I'm going, bro. Like, let me get out of LA. So
dude,
I took full advantage of that.
dude, LA's different. I went for the first time like a month ago. Um, Sid's parents were running in the Disney half marathon or something, so we're like, yeah, let's go down and support them. You know, bring our daughter there.
Yeah.
Um, but just like I'm in Denver, right, and it's really not that bad. It's not like super fast. Like it's faster than Montana, but it's not like LA, man. Like
Yeah.
LA was just a different it's just a different ball game out there. And I kind of liked it, but I don't know if I could live in that. You know what I mean? It's cool visiting and
Yeah.
stuff, but it's different. Like we got picked up in an Uber. Um, it's 3 in the morning. Our flight was at 5 or something like that, and the interstate was already packed. And it was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, dude! Like this is insane.
Traffic, traffic nonstop, bro. Nonstop.
Yeah, dude. And I went to the store. I drove to the store, and I was just like driving around. I was like, this place is crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy to just kind of drive around those neighborhoods and just see how things are. and just all the things that have came out of LA too, from athletics to
Yeah,
music to entertainment. Like a lot of stuff's going on out there, man. And it is fast. It is
damn. I hope it's
fast.
not coming up.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. It's just fast. But then you get down to Argentina. What's it? That's where you are currently now.
Yep,
What's
that's where I'm at.
how's that been for you? In terms of like, what's Argentina like? I guess.
Argentina is like very family orientated, bro. When I got here, I felt like everybody knew everybody. It was cultural. It was like being in Great Falls or Lower Columbia where everybody knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love Argentina, bro. Just the way they play basketball, or like, there's so many things to do here. They got swag out here. Me being in the mud for so long is you're like, damn, there's some swag here. I can go do stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wasn't partying, bro, like my first 4 years or going out. Like I'm not really been a party person, but like just to go out and do stuff and hang out with the guys and have fun, like that was a big adjustment and something I felt like, okay, like I get to do that finally.
Yep.
Um, Here is getting hot now, bro. Like it's super hot, so I like the hot weather. The basketball level that I'm at is okay. I would say me playing in Iraq, Egypt, and Ireland was probably harder. So I was telling people at first when I got here, like, bro, this is just a stepping stone. Like I'm used to playing at a lower level and then ranking back up. So I'm gonna take full advantage of being here. But they have took care of me, bro, better than any place I've been at. Like I legit love it here, and it's probably one of the biggest blessings I got, because if I wasn't received this contract, who knows what I would have been doing or I was headed, because at that time I was like headed down, I felt like the wrong path, and this set me back straight to what I
Yep.
really love to do. Just going back to being disciplined, I'm being in isolation again. Um, it was just one of those situations. It was like perfect, like I needed it. And I played well, bro, like, until I got up and got hurt. So I was averaging like 26 points. We're still currently on a 13 game winning streak. So it was like, bro, everything was perfect. Um, the people here love me so much. Like you can see, I've been in like little commercials. I'm sponsored by Aetna. So like, I got mad love here. I'm like a mini Iverson in Argentina. So, what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Put my, put my braids in and just so everybody knows I'm still that guy. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So, just to manifest everything that's happened, like being here is like it's still in the air of like for success for us here. I love it here. Of course I got injured. If nobody knows, like I ruptured my patellar tendon. So I'm out for like the doctors are saying 6 to 7 months, but I'm telling them like, bro, I ain't rushing this, bro. 9, 10 months. I'm gonna be here during my whole rehab process. So basically, I'm gonna be here for a year. Um, so I'm facing a challenge right now where I'm so used to being on go. You know what I mean? And I can't go. Like I'm limited to what I can do, where I can go, how fast I can do stuff. So just I feel like this is slowing me down for something better in life.
Yep.
Um, I think it's preparing me for whatever's next. And if it's a next contract, if it's playing here again or outside of basketball, like anything's possible, I feel like for me, because I'm a person that works hard and shows up every day.
Yep.
So, and anything can be taken away from you so quickly, bro. And we learned that in COVID. So when it got taken away from me, mind you, I had like two contract offers that day where I was like, you know what, it's time for me to move on from here and go play somewhere else. And God was like, I'm just you need to probably, this is your test. Let's see if you can get through this. So
Yep.
I accepted that. I didn't accept it the first 2 weeks because I felt like I worked hard and I put in so much work for so many years that it hurt. But down the road, I'm like, bro, I've got through everything, so I know I can get through this. And the biggest thing is having support within the club and my teammates here, because I'm far away from my family. My family really don't got a passport. Nobody can really come see me. So it's like I'm grateful for having a club that's taking care for me, you know, giving me meals so because I can't cook, helping me, checking me out if I'm okay, like nonstop. So it's like, bro, I'm in a great situation right now. And it's just like showing up every day the way they show up for me,
Yep.
going to rehab, doing extra stuff that I can. And then if they want me to come back and play next year, which I want to, when I'm healthy, is I'm gonna play as hard as I can and see if we can win a championship because they're on the verge of winning the championship without me now.
Mhm.
So, hopefully I could be a champion on the sideline, still hurt, but I was a part of success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah, dude, that's I like how you frame that in terms of this is setting this setback is setting me up for something bigger. Because like I said, like Sid and I were devastated when we heard that, because we know like the work, obviously, the work that you put in. Um, but I think that was almost like my first thought. I was like, I know he's gonna come back bigger, better, and stronger after this because I know the work that you're gonna put in, and I know how you're gonna attack that injury. It's not something that you're gonna feel sorry. Like you obviously you just mentioned it, but like you're gonna have like a moment where you're sitting around feeling sorry for yourself, no matter if something doesn't go your way, no matter what in life. But I think
Exactly.
I think it's always important to realize like don't get stuck in that that mindset. You know what I mean? Don't settle for that. Attack it. You know, like that's some Kobe stuff, right? Like attack it. Like when
Hmm.
he tore his Achilles, like he attacked the Achilles, right? It's not a setback. It's something that's setting you up to be something better. Um, but it's good to hear that they're taking care of you and all that kind of stuff and making sure you're good. Um, but just to like think about it all, like this whole journey, like as a whole, bro, like just think of what the game of basketball has been able to give you. Do you ever like sit back and reflect on that and just be like, damn, like this is my life and no one can ever kind of take this stuff away from me. And I did this. You know, a kid from
Yep.
Tacoma, you know, from Franklin to Lincoln and to Lower Columbia to Providence to Ireland to Iraq to Argentina to, isolation and COVID, you know, like the journey is probably something that's cool to reflect on, or is it like something that you don't really reflect on yet because it's like I'm not even done.
I feel like I have a reflection period now.
Yeah.
I was like that first 2 weeks when I had surgery and I legit couldn't do nothing. I was in the hospital. I reflected like, damn, bro, like I actually manifested going to college, graduating, being a professional, seeing the world. Like, not too many people get to see the world, and I wish everybody could see the world. Like, I don't care if you go to wherever, bro. Like, I hope everybody gets to see something outside of America. And I've been outside of America for years, months. So like I've adapted to people's cultures. I understand people differently now. So when I go to America, it's like I approach it differently because I'm around different people. So when I meet people, I'm more engaged. I understand them. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
humble person. And I just reflect on every country I've been at. And it's like, bro, I'm blessed to be able to play basketball and get paid for it. But it's not even getting the paid factor, bro. It's the experience, bro. That's
Yeah.
bigger than anything. Like money cannot buy happiness, bro. And I've played basketball for so long and didn't get paid. And so when I got paid, it was like I'm not trying to think about the money because it's the experience, bro. And if I keep thinking about the money too much, I'm not going to enjoy the experience.
Yep.
So the experience is just like something you can't take away. Like when I have a wife, kids, and I get to tell them, like, hey, your dad did this. Maybe if you want to do it, I can show you how to actually do it. So this is the reflection period now of like I'm grateful of basketball because if I wasn't a basketball player, would I be as strong minded? Would I be, have the mental capacity to get through this? Like everything shaped me. So like to get through this is like, all right, man, if I gotta go through this for 9 months, 8 months, okay. I know I can do it. It's just showing up every day, which I'm good at. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I know showing up every day is gonna be different. I'm gonna have a down day. I'm gonna have a day that I'm up. I'm gonna have a day where I'm in, even killed. Like I can be honest, like the first game I had to watch, bro, I couldn't watch it. like fresh out of surgery. I'm sitting there and I wanted to go to the game so bad. They're telling me not to go. I was like, bro, I gotta go, bro. And I remember them just wheelchairing me out, bro. And I was like in the back seat crying, like, damn, bro, I really can't play. You know what I mean? Like, this is bigger than basketball. Like, this is gonna probably make me stronger as a man, probably give me something to do and find something else I'm good at. If that's either, I don't know, cybersecurity, finding something that I'm good at outside of basketball. This is a tool in my time that I need to slow down and figure stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's good to reflect, man. It's good to just as humans to sit back and realize that we've done a lot of good things and we could be proud of ourselves. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
but again, on the flip side, on the opposite side of that coin is you can only do that for so long because there's more work to be done. You know what I mean? And you're posting the videos of you in rehab and stuff, and you're already going at it. You know what I mean? You're working your ass off already, and the work's already being put in. And it's crazy because obviously I'm a coach now. I do AAU and I do high school and stuff like that, and I even like the work I do in schools. This is all the stuff that I try and preach to them. You know what I mean? Like if you really want something, you got to go after it. But if you're just going to talk and
Hmm.
not go after it, it's just empty words. And I've talked about you, I've talked about Z, and I've talked about some other teammates of like, hey, here's some guys that like I've been around, and this is some of the things that they've done, and this is the things I've learned from them. Because I think you're not learning from people, and you're not learning from those around you. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of wasting some of your time because there's a lot of things to
Exactly.
learn out there. You know what I mean? Because if you think everything you do is perfect and you got it all down, no, bro. Like I've learned so much from, for example, like you, Z, my boy Casey Dobson, he was on the wrestling team. Oh, Matt, like all these guys, like I felt like I just always had to learn from you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I like to
Hmm.
shed that and share that message with the youth because, you know, you can look at a kid and be like, "Damn, I was in that situation." Or I know somebody who's in a similar situation. And I one thing that bugs me in today's society in a sense is that we always try and paint people as victims. Oh, they're victims of this, they're victims of
Yep.
that. Where I feel like we got to preach more resiliency. I've talked to my uncle Donnie about this. He does a lot of work with tribes in Montana, natives. And natives have gone through a lot of crazy stuff in history. A lot of bad things have, happened to our people. But one thing he says is we got to preach resilience and not victimization. And
Hmm.
it could be as simple as a kid. My starting point guard has a bad game. He goes 1 for 10 from three. Right? Hey, dude, don't be like this. Isn't a time to be a victim and feel sorry for yourself. Use this as motivation. Let's watch some film on it. Right? Or a kid in my school who's going through some hard times at home. Right?
Yep.
Hey, perseverance. Like those are things to preach, and those are things that like I've learned from you. Learn from other
Yeah.
people because I just think that message and that word's so powerful. And to see people who have overcome a lot of odds and been on the backside and had to work to get themselves in the front, there's a lot to be learned from that. And I think people don't understand the work that needs to be put in. And I think sometimes it's being lost, like we were talking about earlier in the pod.
Yep. I feel like, kids nowadays want fast success as well. And I
Yep.
and I feel like some people get quick success, and a person like me, nothing's ever been quick. It's always been earned. Earned. It was always earned, never given.
Yeah.
We live by that motto too at Providence. It was earned, never given. So anything I got, I felt like I earned. It was never given. It was a process. It was a marathon. I had to work. I had to do extra, because I'm not gonna have the cameras on me. I'm not 6'8" like Z. I'm 5'10". You know what I mean? So you have to put in the extra work behind the scenes to get where you want. And you also got to be delusional. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%,
You,
dude.
you got to be delusional, bro, just a little bit, and you got to also understand where you come from and always be mindful of that. What you overcome and what you're going through is going to be easier, and you're going to learn from something every time. So forever, forever grateful for that, man. This journey of life is great. You just got
It's
to approach it like that.
absolutely, and we still got a lot ahead of us. That's the crazy thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So for kids out there, man, or just people out there in general, what's one message of life? This is kind of putting you on the spot, though. I'm really interested in this. What's one message for life that you would give any person on this planet right now?
Any person, one message? That's a great question. Being 27, one message I would give everybody is just be accountable for yourself. Be realistic with yourself. Understand who you are, what you are, and where you're trying to go. I feel like we dibble and dabble too much into trying to be everything
Mm-hmm.
and want to be somebody that we're not. So just being accountable and being true to yourself, that's one message. And I'm learning that now because I swear I want to be when I'm 40, 50 years old. I want to be accountable. I want to be true to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to chase a feeling that I want to make everybody happy. I want to do what makes me happy and what's going to make me successful. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd always tell people just be accountable and be true to yourself and just chase what you love and just keep going. Like this life, bro, you're going to make a mistake. I've made mistakes. Um, but just cherish every moment, bro, and just be accountable of every moment that you make because one decision can lead you in the wrong direction and one decision can lead you to success.
100%. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Because accountability um, goes directly towards, or is correlated, in my opinion, directly with, making sure you learn from a lesson, whatever mistake it is. We've all
Yeah.
made mistakes. We've all had moments where we're like, damn, that wasn't Jake Wetzel's best moment. That wasn't Brandon Cotton's best moment. Whatever it is, if it's flipping out on the coach in practice, or a
Yep.
stupid life choice you made, or whatever it may be, But if you're able to be accountable for that and be like, yeah, I did that, you're not going to make that mistake again if you're true to yourself about it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that need to hear that because there's a lot of people who've made mistakes, and I think they carry that weight too much. Whereas,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? One mistake doesn't define you. And the people who are going to use that mistake as a way to define you, those are people that you don't even need to listen to their opinion. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
closed-minded people, and it's a poison, you know? And I really like that one because I think it's really important for a lot of people, whether you play athletics or not. And so,
Yeah.
um,
I actually wrote those two words down in my journal. 2025 it's been a different year for me. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of trials and tribulations I had to go through. So I kind of just want to be accountable for myself and my actions and just staying true. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So figuring that out at 27, I'd rather have it figured out now and then later on and
yep,
regret it. So
yep, yep, yep,
because we're at the age where, like I said, one decision could lead you somewhere else, man. So you want to make
100%.
the right decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we're getting close to the end here. Before we get you out of here, B, I'm just gonna hit you with a couple questions, okay? You and I,
Yep.
and this is just gonna kind of take it off script here, for what we've been talking about. Great discussion. Can't wait to get this thing published out there and get some clips for this.
Yeah.
But you and I talk music a lot here. We'll send music back and forth. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even know if you remember this. Um, we were in the back of a van. I think we were coming back from, maybe it was that Seattle trip or something. And bro, you were tweaking in the back. Do you remember this? You were tweaking in the back, and Coach Will was driving our van, and he was playing like some rock band or something, and you were like, play some Jodeci. Play some Jodeci.
I remember that.
Yo,
I remember that.
yo, it was that shit. I'll have to send you that video. It's so funny, and it's so cool to look back on those. But right now, because I love your taste in music, and I think I surprised you a little bit when we met on the kind of music I get down with, kind of hip hop I get down with, and my
Yeah,
taste.
for sure.
Um, who's your top five in terms of? I'm not saying who you think's the greatest of all time, but your personal, like, I listen to these guys all the time. It doesn't all have to be hip hop, rap. You know, it could be soul. It could be like country. I know you ain't listening to
Anything.
any country, but you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, you know what
who you
I'm
really
saying.
bumping to? Because I
All right.
firmly believe like who you listen to and the kind of music you listen to kind of gives me a vibe the kind of person you are.
Yep. I agree too. I definitely agree. So I'll give you my top five currently. Like I will
Right.
bump on the daily, like it's in my playlist all day, nonstop. For sure, J. Cole's in there,
Yep.
but he's not number one. He used to be number one, but J. Cole's in there. Jadakiss is in there for sure. Fabulous is in there. Um, I don't want to miss nobody. Jay-Z's in there.
Yep.
So I'm kind of going New York. And I'm gonna put some new style of music in there just because it's West Coast. Blue Bucks Clan. You probably ain't heard of them, but they might be too much swagger for you because it's not like they got lyrics, but it's like more of like LA style. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I've been going on. I've been listening to them a lot lately. But don't forget, like you know me, I'm still a lyricist. Like I listen to Nas,
Right. Right.
I
Right.
listen to Tupac, but this is just who I'm on the daily with right now.
Yeah, who are they? The Boo Bucks Plan or Boo Bucks Band?
Blue Bucks Clan. We
Boo
were
Bucks
playing them.
Clan.
We were playing them our senior year. You probably just don't remember it.
Okay. Yeah. 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 For sure. So where I get caught up, like first off, great list. Really New York East Coast heavy for sure. But
Yep.
you know, I enjoy. I've been listening to a lot of Jadakiss myself lately. Um, a lot of locks. I think I've sent you a couple locks.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Yep.
I love that shit. Um, one
I
thing
want to
for
know your top. I want to know your top five.
top five that I've been listening to lately.
Yep, lately.
Oh, so this was kind of going to what I was gonna say is I've just been having a really hard time buying into some of this new hip hop lately. Like, it's not that I don't think the music's good. It's just like I just not feeling it sometimes. You know what I mean? So
Yep. I agree.
lately, like I'd say Locks is in there. Um, 50 Cent, like not like mainstream
Ooh,
50 Cent either, but I'm
I for,
talking,
I for, I forgot.
dude,
I forgot
50,
50.
man. Like I be in the
Hey,
cars.
take Blue Bucks. I'll put 50 in there. I forgot, bro. I can't disrespect 50 like
That
that,
dude.
bro. 'Cause I listen to 50 more than anybody. I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah, dude, 50 like um his first album, what's his first album called? It's not Get Rich Die Trying, it's the one right before that, right? No, or is it Get Rich Die
Um,
Trying?
Get Rich or Die Trying his first album.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, I ran that back and you know, he has some mainstream songs off that, but if you listen to that front to back, you're like, "Oh my god."
Generational. Like you can listen to it to this day.
Dude, I was in my car and I was just it's just cuz I get hyped like that. I can get hyped by myself and I'll have the windows down, fucking,
All right.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I'd say, Locks 50, Eminem too. A lot of people don't like to listen to Eminem, but you talk about lyricism, and I'm not talking like necessarily the like, oh damn, he said that, but like when
Yeah.
Eminem, like he could do it all. Like he can give you some stuff that's
Yeah.
cringy, or he can give you some stuff you're like, damn. Like, he wrote Dre's verse on "Things Just Ain't the Same for Gangsters." You know Eminem wrote that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Dude, it's just like I never knew that. And I was just like, damn, that just goes to show. But anyways, those three, obviously Kendrick, you know me, I'm a big Kendrick
Yeah.
guy.
Hey,
Um,
Kendrick was just in Argentina last night. He had it going crazy from what I seen on TikTok.
dude. Kendrick, like, and I've been a big Kendrick guy since high school, bro. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
unfortunately, him and Drake had the clash. Um, but like Kendrick's just always going to be a guy who's going to be on my just gonna be on. I'm always gonna be listening to him. Nipsey. You know what I mean? J.
Yep.
Cole. Like they're always gonna be in the rotation. I think you're one of the ones. You may have been one of the guys who showed me some of Nipsey. You know what I mean? Because in Montana, shit don't get out like it does. I think a couple of my teammates before you came kind of like put me on a little bit, but I think you're really the one who introduced me to like everything. Because there was a time there, like you were in my house when he got shot. Like we got back from that Anaconda tournament, and it was just like it's almost like when Kobe died, right? Like we lost some soldiers that year, bro. It was crazy. But anyways. And I'd say that last spot, Michael Jackson, bro. I've been bumping a lot of Mike. Just like
the soul, bro.
Dude, he's just so good, man. Like not even like even if you just get out of the mainstream Michael Jackson and you listen to some of that other stuff, you're just like man, like it's crazy because I like to mix it up, and I've kind of gone down some Michael Jackson rabbit holes lately. Kind of, you know, and like we said, I ain't going to get political. I try not to get political on here and stuff, but, you know, it's just, you know, I've been listening to a lot of him. So that's kind of my 5 right now. I'd say some guys who've kind of been kind of hanging around that I just can't put in the top 5. I'd say I've listened to a lot of Clips, you know, Pusha T, Clips. I love Clips. Chasing Status. You've probably never listened to any Chasing Status. It's more of like an EDM.
No, never heard of him.
It's a group, little EDM vibe and just some stuff like that. But just music, man. Music.
I think there's so much music, bro. It's like hard to put a top 5 or top 10. It's just like whatever you're listening to, what gets you through whatever you need. But bro, the old school music to me is better than the new school music.
100%.
You know, hands down.
100%, bro. Like I've pulled up so much old school, you know, soul, R&B, just like all that, because like this stuff, it's just so much better. Everything's so mass produced. It's like kind of like the NBA we were talking about. Or just basketball in general. Everyone's trying to do the same shit. Like the creativity piece of shit, it's just not there for me because I feel like everyone just kind of sounds the same.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, that's what I've been rocking. But yeah, music's great. I think music's one of those things that's one of the most inspirational things you can do, or listen to, or participate in.
I agree.
All right. So we're about 2.5 hours. This is the longest podcast of my life, and 2.5 hours. I don't regret it one bit.
Oh, either. I just hope the wifey's not mad, man. That's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, baby. I think the baby's asleep, and she had to kind of hold it down. You got to get a woman like that. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, my wife's a blessing, my kid's a blessing, and I'm very happy that she allows me to do this kind of stuff for an extended period of time. So,
thank you to her.
Yeah, shout out Sid. For me, she wants to watch this show. But yeah, we're gonna get B out of here. Skywalk with Wetz podcast. I believe this is episode 20. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I believe it's episode 20. I could be wrong. But if you joined on the live, we appreciate you joining on the live. But if you're joining on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching this, post live, give us a like, give us some love. Go follow Brandon Cotton on Instagram. Go follow this journey. Tune into this, man. Great guy, great person. It was just an honor to have you on, B. I appreciate you giving me your time.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you, Wes, man, for acknowledging me and giving me my flowers. And you know, I've been watching you from afar. Like I said before, you're a dad, you're a husband now. So it's great to see you do great things, man. And I wish you the best. And we're going to stay connected, bro. Trust me. So
absolutely.
2.5 hours, man. I loved it. I can do it again if you want me to. So, you know, I'm here for you, bud.
We'll run it back. For sure.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.